Smash that like button, double tap that screen when you come into the live, man. Y'all know exactly what this is. Open Eyes Media. And I'm your host, DG. And this is where we bring the truth out on all the lames. This is where we don't let people hide behind politics, and we don't let child predators. We don't let child predators just roam free without getting addressed. And we damn sure ain't protecting them and acting like we need some fucking evidence that clearly the evidence is there. The evidence is clearly there. Smash that like button, y'all. Double tap that screen and definitely subscribe to the channel. We are 90 subscribers away from getting monetized, and probably, who knows, maybe a couple of hours short of 3,000 watch hours. So we've been broadcasting on this channel a little over 2 weeks. July 11th was when we started broadcasting on this channel, and we are very close to getting monetized. So help us out, subscribe to the channel and all that good stuff, because this is the channel. Look at them, MAGA crybabies. Double tap that screen when y'all coming to the live. I'm waiting for a few of my mods to tap in. Once my mods tap in, I'm going to go ahead with the lesson at hand. It's medicine time, and let me tell you one thing about medicine. It's good for you, but people don't like how it tastes. Medicine can be very nasty, but it's good for you. So sit back, medicine time, get these pills, and let's get to work. Double tap that screen, y'all. Smash the like button. We laughing at MAGA crybabies today. All the whining from the people who do the most goddamn shit talking. All right? Well, let's get down to business.
When people talk about black fatigue, I get a sharp pain in my chest and a sickness.
Hold on for 1 second, y'all. We got a little difficulty
In my stomach. Because what do you mean? Black people have literally been fighting to be treated as equal. That's it. Not better than anybody, not above anybody, not special treatment, just treated as human, not less than. And every time they get a little bit closer, this country finds a new way to move the finish line. A lot of us were taught that after slavery was abolished, black people were free. They had separate schools, separate bathrooms, separate neighborhoods, and then they had to fight to end that. And I'm not gonna lie, that's what I thought too, but that skips over a whole evil chapter. What happened after abolition was not freedom. It was control with a new name. And after slavery got abolished, the South had a big ass problem. Their whole economy had been built on black people working for free.
and
That's
that
why the
bitch
lazy
crashed.
stereotype is so backwards. Because if black people were so lazy, why were white people scrambling to make laws to keep them in the fields instead of working it themselves or letting their kids work those fields? That sounds like a whole lot of projection to me. So instead of saying we stole your labor for generations, so here's land, protection, and wages to build a better life, they decided to do whatever they could to keep control without calling it slavery. And that's where black codes come in. Black codes were laws made after slavery ended to keep control of black people. Not to help them, not to protect them, to control them. They could be arrested for vagrancy. They could be forced into labor contracts. They could be punished for leaving those contracts. They could be restricted from gathering together. You can't even stand on the street and talk to your friends or your family. They needed permission to travel, to meet, to preach. They couldn't even be out after a certain curfew that only they had. And now the very system that did it, that is supposed to protect you and supposedly freed you and you're equal, states you better have a job, written proof, and permission to move around, or you can be arrested and forced right back into free labor. And who had most of the jobs? The same people who just had them enslaved. So freedom came with a threat attached to it. You can work for us under our rules with whatever we want to pay you, or we can call you a criminal. And this is why the 13th Amendment loophole matters. Because yes, slavery was abolished, except as a punishment for a crime. Which makes sense why they would criminalize black freedom. But it gets even worse, as it usually does. Black children could legally be taken and forced into apprenticeships if they found the parents could not support them. So again, imagine surviving slavery, trying to rebuild your life, maybe even having another child because they sold all your children away and you couldn't find them, for them to still take control of your child and your child's labor. And these in-between parts are what they do not teach clearly, because if they did, a whole lot more people would feel uncomfortable saying, just get over it. Get over what? Slavery? Okay. Black codes, Jim Crow, stolen labor, stolen wages, children being kidnapped and forced into free labor. All of that too. You want me to tell you why we keep talking about this? Because every time black people get this close to freedom, this country finds a new legal fence to stop them from getting there. Real freedom. Black codes were not freedom. They were slavery's ugly little cousin dressed up in a suit. They dropped the chains, picked up their pens, and wrote it into law. Next, we need to talk about sharecropping. Oh, you thought it ended there? When black codes got pushed back, they found a new name for the control. When people talk about black fatigue,
why do y'all call it the January 6th fund? Because that's not what it was.
What is it?
Donald Trump sued
My second prompt of today is why
the federal government because they leaked his tax returns in 2019. Him and his sons. And he had a deal with the government. It was for $10 billion. So instead of taking the $10 billion, he agreed to put it in a fund for the victims of the Biden DOJ. If you read the whole thing, it I don't know if y'all read it, but if you read the whole thing, it says
So you
anybody
think
can
that
apply to
makes
it.
sense to you?
It makes sense when you read it. So if you just read it, it says anybody can apply for the fund.
No, but
there's a five-member
let's
panel.
take a step back here. You really think that it makes sense that a man can sue the government that he runs and then settle with himself? You think that makes sense?
Okay, so was a law broken?
I'm just asking you a simple
yes, it makes
question.
sense. All right, here's the
Really?
right, the Democrats, y'all like to complain, right? Just hear me out.
No, but
Democrats like to say
I'm not
no one is above
asking-
the law.
I'm not asking about the Democrats. I'm not asking about anybody else.
You
I'm
asked me, does
just
it make
asking.
sense? Yes.
So you think that it makes sense that a man can sue the government that he runs and then dictate the terms of his own settlement? That makes sense to you.
Is he not a citizen?
If this is not the most absolute stupidity that I've ever seen in my entire life.
Is he not? He's a citizen. He has a right.
The man is,
committed.
he's suing and he's dictating the terms himself. He's suing himself. That doesn't make any sense.
I understand what you're trying to say, right? But the government settles all the time. There was a
settled
wrong. Okay.
with himself.
Do you agree? Do you agree that there was a wrong done?
I don't think that this guy
Somebody's
can
in jail for it.
understand what I'm saying.
No, I understand what you're
And
saying.
look, here's the deal. You can try to defend this all you want.
Oh, I'm not defending it. I'm just calling it what it is.
Common sense says that if somebody were to go, and there's a reason why Jeff Bezos has not gotten a $10 billion settlement. There's a reason billion settlement. There's a reason why Elon Musk has not gotten a $10 billion settlement. There's a reason why all these people... Wait a second. There's a reason why those things were not even discussed. They were wrong, just like Donald Trump was wrong. The difference is that only one of them is the government. Trump is the government. If they sue, those cases are going nowhere. The difference is that Trump settled with himself, then they dollied out the money to go and give to whoever he wants.
No, but see,
and
you framed it wrong. My whole point in talking about it was
the problem.
According to the energy secretary, in order for gas prices to go down, we need to deal with Iran. He said to
So
make
what is
a
the deal?
proper
Yeah. So what does the deal look? A property deal. Oh, okay. You're talking about the $300 billion that Trump wants to give to Iran. You're talking about that $300 billion,
That's
right?
not the deal.
Oh.
No, hold on. Not.
You're talking about the pallets of cash that they want to load up and take out of banks out of Maryland and Washington, D.C. and Virginia and load them up into Washington, Dulles and fly it straight to Iran on 747s filled to the brim with cold green cash and land it straight in Iran. That is what you're talking about? $300 billion.
Were you not giving them? Were you not giving the money under Obama and Biden?
First off, you don't know what you're talking about. Let's talk about the JCPOA. Let's swim into deep water, Trad. The JCPOA. Excuse me, Trad. Hush. The JCPOA was something that unfroze $1.8 billion of Iranian assets. It was their own money that they unfreezed. In addition to that, now, what you're talking about is a straight $300 billion cash injection into the Iranian economy. That is like 150 times what was unfrozen under Obama. So if you had a problem with Obama, this is 150 times that amount. That is cold green cash that they want to go and take out of the Federal Reserve, load it onto Spirit Airlines planes, and fly that across the ocean to go and put that straight to Iran.
Advantage of the United States for so many years, and under Obama and Biden, we did not just do that. We bowed down to the Ayatollah.
Really? So did we bow down to the Ayatollah when we had a 97% reduction in their nuclear materials, Trad? 97% reduction without a single dollar spent on war. Excuse me, Trad. Not a single dollar was spent on war. Not $1. Trump is spending $2 billion a day on this Iranian war that he is doing today.
The JCPOA.
Exactly.
$2 billion a goddamn day. Smash that like button, y'all.
And this is why the Republican Party's low IQ. This is why the Republican Party's low IQ, because you would rather spend $2 billion.
Hey, Slick Nick, this is why your ass is low IQ. Listen up. Get a lesson. Get this medicine.
$1 a day on war. You'd rather have 14 American service members lose their lives instead of something that did not involve war, that completely resulted in the end of the Iranians' nuclear capabilities. If that's not a lack of common sense, I don't know what is.
You're saying that it's wasting money, but it's not. A little toughness will put for gain in the future.
See,
do you not know there will be millions and millions of people?
I'm going to make sure that I can answer this question. And this is the precise reason why the Republican Party is about to get blown out in these midterms.
It's not.
They would rather spend $2 billion a day on war while you can't afford gas, while you can't afford health care, while you can't afford child care, while you can't afford anything in this country.
And this is why they coming the fuck up out of office. They losing all control.
They want to spend $2 billion a day on war. What I think is a better use of $2 billion a day is to go and put universal child care so that you don't have to pay the cost of rent per kid to put your kid in child care. I think that we should put health care in America, universal health care, so you don't have to pay these things. I think we should be putting trades back in school so our young people, if you don't want to go to college, you can actually go get a trade to actually teach you and so you can go learn something. I think that's common sense.
So
Who
I
said
want to
there's
ask
no
the
time for
American
that, you
people,
fucking
which one
dummy?
sounds better? $2 billion a day on war or $2 billion a day to make your life more affordable? And I know the exact answer the American people will choose in November.
According to the energy secretary, in order for gas
Come November, you MAGA's gonna be looking stupid.
prices to go down, we need to deal with Iran. He said to
So
make
what is
a
the deal?
proper
Yeah. So what does the deal look? Oh, a property deal. Oh, okay. You're talking about the $300 billion that Trump wants to give to Iran. You're talking about that $300 billion,
That's
right?
not the deal.
Oh.
No, hold on. Not listen.
You're talking
the deal
about
has
the
to
you're
be,
talking about the pallets of cash that they want to load up and take out of banks out of Maryland and Washington,
So
D.C. and Virginia and load them up into Washington, Dulles and fly it straight to Iran on 7.
Yeah, he'll still be the boss with no fucking power. That part.
47s filled to the brim with cold green cash and landed straight in Iran. That is a straight.
Hold on. Let me show you fucking dummies. You fucking douchebags. Hold on. 25 divided by 1.6. You fucking dumbass. 15.6 motherfucking times different, you assholes. You still want to talk about that 1.6?
Talking about is a straight $300 billion cash injection into the Iranian economy. That is like 150 times what was unfrozen under Obama. So if you had a problem with Obama, this is 150 times that amount. That is cold green cash that they want to go and take out of the Federal Reserve, load it onto Spirit Airlines planes, and fly that across the ocean to go and put that straight to Iran.
Advantage of the United States for so many years.
Don't you think it's important for the President of the United States, the leader of the free world, to show some empathy for people that lose their lives that are coming home from war? Don't you think that's a good characteristic and a human quality when somebody cares about people that are struggling in this country? Do you think Donald Trump cares about you, or does he care about his tech billionaire friends? Yes, sir. I think empathy is a thing that a world leader should have. You should be a caring individual. If you're a policymaker and you don't have empathy, then what do you think you're going to do about people that are struggling in this country? You think Donald Trump wants to help the poor?
Hey, so I want to know how you feel about the Save America Act.
Why do you think they put the Save America Act in place? And then I'll give you my reasoning behind why I'm against it. But go ahead. Why do you think they did it?
I personally feel for it because I think what they were trying to do is make it more difficult for people who aren't here legally.
Is it okay? So you're to voting. I get what you're saying. Is it illegal for an undocumented immigrant to vote?
Yes.
Yes, it is. Okay, so what?
In
okay.
this country, yes.
Yes, it is. Okay, so how many undocumented immigrants have voted in the last 10 years?
Look, do you mind if I pull up the statistics?
No, I don't want you to pull up the statistics. You asked me about the SAVE Act because you're concerned about undocumented immigrants that could vote, and you don't know how many undocumented immigrants have voted. That would be like saying, I'm really concerned about the crime rate in my city, and then somebody said to you, what's the crime rate? Oh, I really don't know. I have to look it up. Why are you asking me about the SAVE Act, with all due respect, sir, when you have no idea what you're talking about? I will answer the question, my own question, and try to educate you. Less than 100 people have voted illegally that are undocumented immigrants in the last 10 to 15 years. Do you know where we got that statistic from? Turning Point USA. Turning Point. They're the ones who put out that stat. So this is not the issue that you think it is. And where are you getting your information from that you would think that it is an issue?
Multiple news sources.
Name me one. Tell me.
Fox News.
Exactly. What a shocker. Why do you watch Fox News? Are you aware that they were sued for almost $1 billion for lying about the 2020 election with Dominion voting machines? Why would you watch an organization like that? Why? Do you think they're accurate?
I don't. I don't really agree with CNN in general.
What do you disagree with CNN? Give me an example. What do you
They
disagree?
actually interviewed my mom, and then they clipped parts to make her sound like she didn't know what she was talking about.
What was your mom talking about?
It was back in, I think, 2018.
Fox News. By the way, Fox News doesn't clip things and try to make people look bad. They don't do that.
I never said they didn't. But
Okay, so why do you watch Fox News then if they do the same thing?
Because they don't do it in the sense that they don't cover up statistics.
Okay, so give me an example. Give me one example of CNN, quote unquote, covering up statistics. What statistics are you talking about? Please provide me an example, sir.
All right. So, for instance, let's see. Back in.
Are you Googling something because you don't know?
No.
Okay, go ahead.
I've heard of a few.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
From the past.
Okay.
I think it was. Trying to remember. I think it had to do with food stamps.
Okay.
How much it was not being used
What are you
properly.
Okay, and what was the lie? I don't understand. What do you? Okay, what about food stamps?
That it wasn't as abused as people as it really was.
Okay, so you think food stamps are being abused? Is that what you're saying?
Okay, give me. I'll
So you don't have a statistic?
That question back at you. Give me one that Fox News covered up.
Okay, I just told you. Are you not listening? They were just sued for over $900 million, and they lost the lawsuit because they lied about the 2020 election and said Dominion voting machines changed the outcome. They settled for almost $1 billion. It's an unheard of amount of money because they lied about it. They lied about it. What part of that did you not understand when I said that the first time? Do you think that's credibility? Can you give me anything that CNN's done that rises to that level of lies?
No.
Okay, thank you. So maybe you should stop watching Fox News. The only thing you told me about CNN was something about food stamps. You didn't tell me what they did. I can tell you this. Millions of people are not on food stamps right now because Donald Trump has taken that away from people. There's always going to be a small... I think that people should have to work for them, right? You think that people should have to work for them? Okay, so somebody making $25,000 a year that has 2 jobs, that has a couple kids, you don't want to provide them maybe $200 or $300 a month in food assistance? You think that's bad?
Well, if they work X amount of hours in community service, I feel like
there are people that work 60 hours a week that are on food stamps. Are you aware of that, sir?
I understand that, but there can also be like online, like they can do stuff.
So you're telling me somebody working 60 hours a week should also work online that has children?
Not necessarily.
So what are you talking about then? I'm trying to tell you that there's a lot of people on food stamps that maybe they're laid off from their job. Maybe they're struggling to work in a really bad economy. Why would you not want to provide help for people that are struggling? Forget about even people that are unemployed. What about people that are living paycheck to paycheck? With this economy, we know that there's a lot of people that are living paycheck to paycheck. Why do you want to take that away from them? Meanwhile, we spend $2 billion a day on an ill-advised war. Do you have a problem with that?
So, I think
you're stupid.
I don't fully agree with the war, okay? I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not MAGA, as you like to label a lot of Republicans.
I haven't called you MAGA. I haven't called you that.
But you like to label...
I don't label all people as MAGA. Here's a perfect example. I haven't called you that. I don't know who you voted for. Who did you vote for?
I didn't. I wasn't old enough at the time.
Okay, fine. Who would you vote for if the election was tomorrow? Kamala Harris or Donald Trump?
Most likely Donald Trump just do the ideas, but I'm not...
What ideas? What ideas? Let's forget about the war. I know you say you don't agree with the war. Okay, great. That's kind of a big deal, don't you think, an ill-advised war. What has he done well for the country in a year and a half? Tell me.
I think that he originally had made gas easier to get, right?
Yeah, well, now there's record high prices. And by the way, he didn't do anything as far as gas prices. They were going down and headed in the right direction when Joe Biden left office. The policies of Donald Trump are the reasons why you're going to be paying $5 a gallon at the gas tank. So let's not talk about gas because that won't help your argument. What has he done in the last year to year and a half that you think is good, that you're so happy that you would say, man, I wish I could have voted for that guy. He's great. What's so great about Donald Trump? Tell me. Is it that the fact that he's... Yeah, go ahead.
I also think that he made some really good trade agreements across.
He made really good.
With
What? Okay, so first of all, let's talk about that, and let's talk about the $175 billion in tariffs that he stole from the American people. You think tariffs were a good idea?
In certain senses, absolutely.
In what sense were tariffs a good idea? When and by the way, who pays for the tariffs? Who is paying for these? Who is paying for these tariffs?
The American people.
Thank you. Why would that be good? Name me one reason why you think that's good when the American consumer has to pay for it in a struggling economy when we're paying now $2 billion a day. $2 billion a day for an ill-advised war that we agree on should have never happened. Why would that be good? Wouldn't you be better off not giving the biggest tax breaks for the top 1%? Wouldn't you be better off lowering taxes for middle income and people that are struggling and not taking government assistance away from people and giving the biggest tax break to the richest people? Come on, man. Help me out here, man. Help me out here. Come on.
I get you.
Okay, so what's wrong with Kamala Harris? Why wouldn't you? Well, hold on a second. This is important. What was your issue with Kamala Harris?
I just couldn't really see what good she was going to do that was productive. Like, name me something that was really good that she did as vice president.
I'll answer you, but maybe it's because you weren't paying attention and you're ill-informed. She talked about lowering the tax bracket for income families in households of under $400,000 a year. She talked about bringing back Roe versus Wade, not telling women what to do with their own bodies. She certainly wouldn't have taken. She talked about health care. She wouldn't have taken Medicaid away. She certainly, I can guarantee 100%, would have had more bipartisan gun legislation, making our country safer. Renee Good and Alex Preddy would still be alive today. She wouldn't have been sending ICE agents and these goons all over the country, terrorizing our communities. Healthcare would have been her top priority. She talked about.
Obama did all that shit without having to send ICE in the fucking communities and still deported more illegals than fucking Trump.
That I can also tell you that there wouldn't be discrimination and attacks against people like me from the FCC. She wouldn't be going after people that disagree with her. It wouldn't be a retribution. She wouldn't be threatening Republican lawmakers with hanging them or executing them. There would be decent, reasonable people in the White House that would have empathy for others, and these American soldiers wouldn't be coming home in caskets. Those are just a few things that she would have done differently than Donald Trump. So I ask you again, name me something about Kamala Harris. And by the way, you obviously weren't paying attention because she campaigned on this stuff. Name me something specifically that you think she would have done or something about her that you don't like.
What you said about really just empathy. I think we should work off of what works statistically instead of about feelings. I really don't think.
I just gave you policies. What are you talking about?
We were talking about empathy, right?
Don't you think it's important for the president?
This is how fucking dumb y'all sound, MAGA. Read it and weep, morons.
Of the United States, the leader of the free world, to show some empathy for people that lose their lives that are coming home from war. Don't you think that's a good characteristic and a human quality when somebody cares about people that are struggling in this country? Do you think Donald Trump cares about you, or does he care about his tech billionaire friends? Yes, sir. I think empathy is a thing that a world leader should have. You should be a caring individual. If you're a policymaker and you don't have empathy, then what do you think you're going to do about people that are struggling in this country? You think Donald Trump wants to help the poor? Yes, empathy is an important part of policymaking because you need to care about people that are struggling. You need to care about people that are single moms. You need to care about people that lose their jobs. You need to care about people that can't afford to put food on the table. You need to care about people that have terminal illness that need health care. What part of that do you not understand?
There's a lot about it that I understand. And can I backtrack about...
Is empathy not important? Is empathy... Is empathy not important?
In some... Hold on, let me see here. So, not necessarily. What you spoke was more, like I said, a statistic. So...
What? What do you...
Somebody just said MAGA's nightmare of blue Texas. Now tell me this, Mark Hasbro, is Texas turning blue? Is that what's going on? Because I need to know. Let me put that in my notes. Is Texas going blue, Mark? Help me out in the chat.
Talking about, you calling these people that are coming home in caskets statistics? What the hell is wrong with you? Our American soldiers are dying.
They were statistics.
So why are you using the term statistics? What is wrong with empathy? Give me one example of how you think empathy from a world leader is a bad thing. Give me one example of how it's bad.
So let's say there's a good fair amount of people that are homeless.
MAGA. This is how uneducated and stupid y'all are.
And they're choosing to make bad decisions.
And why are they choosing to make bad decisions? Why do you think that is?
Because that's just what bad.
No. You don't seem to understand that there's something called addiction. There's most people that are homeless suffer from mental illness. They suffer from addiction. This is the part of empathy that you don't seem to understand. You think for many of these people.
Rehab, no?
Oh, you think so people could just check themselves into rehab that don't have money and don't have a cell phone? You think they could just walk to a rehab facility and they'll just take you right in? What is wrong with you? By the way, the party that's taking away those government programs to help people get rehabilitated are MAGA Republicans. What is wrong with having empathy for somebody that's homeless and wanting to get them help? What is wrong with that?
Wow. Shout out to Mark Hasbro in the chat. Mark Hasbro says that Texas is blue, Georgia is blue, and North Carolina is blue. Now, are those previously red states? Telerico for Senate. So basically, when Telerico commercials come on, I should let them motherfuckers play. All right, cool.
They can get themselves help.
No, they can't. Not in every instance. You think it's that easy where somebody can just walk into a rehab facility? Most of these places charge infinite amounts of money. And if are rehab facilities out there, there are very much overstocked and they can't get the help that they need. You don't know what you're talking about. So you're saying, you're saying it's a bad thing to have empathy for somebody that's homeless, that's living on the street?
No, I never said it was.
So why did you bring up homeless people?
Let me see. There's food banks, right? There's shelters.
A food bank will not get somebody off the streets. It might get them a meal. Our shelters are overrun with people all over the country. There are plenty of shelters that can't have more people coming in because of a main reason, because of the guy who you said you would vote for, who got us into an ill-advised war, and our economy is down the crapper. So give me an example of how empathy is a bad thing. You haven't given me an example yet.
I have.
No, what, homeless? You don't think we should have empathy for homeless people because they could just go to a rehab facility?
We shouldn't have that.
So give me an example.
We as just daily civilians, right? We can do our part in helping them, right? We can get them help.
What have you done? What have you done to help them?
Oh, I actually do not a food drive, but I go out, donate clothes.
Okay, so you do have empathy for homeless people. So why are you saying we shouldn't have empathy?
I personally do.
Okay, so why is it bad to have empathy for homeless people then? You haven't answered my question.
Well, when you're a higher up, it's a lot harder to deal with issues like that.
I didn't ask you if it's harder to deal with issues if you're a higher up. By the way, I don't even know what that means. My question was, I said, why is it bad to have empathy? You brought up homeless people. Give me a reason why it's bad to feel empathy for people that are struggling, that are homeless, that are on the streets. You still haven't given me an example.
Because some of them choose not to help themselves.
And you wouldn't feel bad for somebody that has mental illness, that doesn't want help, that is living on a street corner? You think that's bad to say, geez, that sucks. I wish that person was in a better situation. You think that's bad to care about somebody that is in a situation?
No, absolutely not.
Okay, then stop saying, okay, good. So stop saying that empathy is bad. You're making yourself sound like a fool, with respect, sir, when you say things like that. Empathy is a good thing. It's called about caring about a fellow human being, which is Donald Trump does not have. Are you aware of Donald Trump's history? Name me one thing that Kamala has done that you think is bad as Donald Trump going into teenage girls' locker rooms without their permission, a guy that's a liable sexual abuser, a 34-count felon. Name me anything
Where's the underlying crime to that, though?
With what, the 34-count felonies? Is that what you're asking me? Campaign finance violations and fraud, financial fraud. You want to get into the weeds with me, sir, on that? A jury of his peers found that he was guilty. Okay? So now you want to make excuses for the liable sexual abuse too?
No.
Okay, you don't. Okay, so name me something that Kamala's done in her life that rises to that level of just awfulness. Name me one thing. Okay, so why wouldn't you vote for her then? You still haven't given me a reason.
Because she's black. Let's just be real. A lot of y'all weak-ass motherfuckers don't have no other reason. Because she's a woman of color. I think it's more of a woman than it is a woman of color. I don't think the color is more of a big deal than it is that she's a woman. I think America is more sexist than racist. White men ain't giving women no power at all. That's a fact. You see, they let Obama ass in, but they ain't letting no motherfucking woman in. Hillary or goddamn Kamala.
Because she just doesn't support the same ideas that Obama.
What idea? What idea? What idea? Give me an example. What idea?
Deporting people who shouldn't be here.
Kamala Harris said that you need to come to this country legally. Kamala Harris has said the violent criminals need to be deported. She's been very clear on that. But you're happy with the way Donald Trump has dealt with ICE? You're happy with the deportations? You think he's done a good job?
Yeah, he's doing way better than Obama did.
He's doing way better than Obama did. Are you that ignorant that you don't even understand that Obama has deported 5 times more people than Donald Trump has? Are you aware of that, sir?
Okay, was it 5 times?
Yeah. Obama has
you
deported
stupid ass.
millions more.
See, MAGA, this is how dumb y'all are. Y'all jump into fucking arguments with your white ass heart on your sleeve, and you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You know why? Because you're only concerned about bigotry and racism and misogyny and all that bullshit. That's all y'all worried about. You don't give a fuck as long as they don't make another black man president. That's where a lot of y'all motherfucking feelings got hurt, was when Obama became president and you had to eat fucking crow for 8 motherfucking years that he did great. So great that y'all motherfuckers trying to say that Trump is doing better and this motherfucker is failing horribly worse
than Donald Trump did. So you're clearly wrong about that. But the question wasn't about Barack Obama. The question was about Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. And Kamala Harris has been very clear on how she feels about immigration. But I'll tell you this. Are you happy with Renee Good and what happened to Renee Good and Alex Preddy? Are you happy with the way ICE is handling? Were you happy with the way Kristi Noem handled DHS?
Well, the ICE agent for Renee Good's case was his life was at stake. He suffered internal bleeding.
No, he didn't. Where's your evidence? Where's your evidence that he suffered internal bleeding?
Medical records?
There were no medical records that were put forth. You have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. So I ask you again, where's your evidence that he had internal bleeding?
Doctors?
There were no doctors that have come forward that have said that he had internal bleeding. I will now ask you for a third time. Where's your evidence that Jonathan Ross had internal bleeding?
I can't.
You can't, right? Because there is no source, because there is no evidence that he had internal bleeding. By the way, he stood on his feet with his cell phone in his hand when he was grazed by the vehicle. That doesn't mean that the force that he used was necessary in that situation. Why do you think there's not a full? Do you think there should be a full investigation into that, or do you think in an officer-involved shooting there shouldn't be an investigation?
There should definitely be an investigation.
Okay, well, guess what? Guess what? There's not a full investigation. So you've now contradicted yourself multiple times. Are you happy with what happened to Renee Good and Alex Preddy? Do you think it was good?
I'm not necessarily happy that it had to come to that point, no. But
Good,
I mean,
good.
it had to happen.
It had
Because
Okay, so hold on. It had to happen. Is that what you just
Smash
said?
that like button, y'all. Smash that like button. If you're not inferior, hit that like button one time.
hold on.
No.
Let's go. With
You
this.
talked about
No?
You
Okay.
talked about deportations, and you think Donald Trump
Okay,
is
that's
doing
what
a good job with deportations. My question to you is, what does it say in our Constitution? Does it say what does it say about due process in our Constitution? Do you know what it says?
Is required.
By who? By citizens or undocumented immigrants? What does it say?
Both.
Both. Exactly. You are correct. You finally said something.
My man Mark Hasbro says that Mark Cuban, who's a great fucking businessman, said that the Harris 50K new business startup tax credit would be the best thing for our economy. And we ignored that shit like some dumbasses. Homicidal ICE agents also have the right to due process, constitutionally guaranteed. Smash that like button, double tap that screen. Them bitches going to jail.
Thing I agree on. Are all undocumented immigrants in this country, are they all getting due process?
No.
They're not. Okay, thank you. So you're okay with Donald Trump ripping up parts of the Constitution, not giving people due process, taking away their First, Third, and Fourth Amendment rights? Are you okay with that?
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
Not exactly the full. Okay.
Okay, so Kamala Harris wouldn't have taken away your First, Third, or Fourth Amendment rights. Are you okay with people, ICE agents, going up to detaining American citizens, going up to people asking them for paperwork without any reasonable or articulable suspicion that they've committed a crime? Are you okay with that?
An American citizen that's been deported.
Okay, so first of all, will you pay attention to my words? I didn't say American citizens were being deported, you dope. What I said was there are American citizens that are being detained and arrested. That is what I said. You need to pay attention to my words. By the way, are you okay, since we're on the topic of deporting people, are you okay with people that are non-violent criminals that are being separated from their families, that have lived here for decades?
None of your business says Obama, nor Biden, nor any other president used such excessive force with their ICE agents, and they're cowards. They don't use cameras, and they cover their faces acting like the Gestapo, a bunch of bitches.
That have never committed a violent crime, that are being deported to El Salvador prisons with no due process? Are you okay with people outside of courtrooms that are being arrested, that have filed the proper paperwork, that are seeking asylum, that legally, according to what our Constitution says, are not allowed to be arrested and or deported because of being in this country undocumented? Are you okay with that?
So, for starters, they did commit a crime. They came here illegally.
I said violent crime. You need to pay attention to my language. By the way, it's a misdemeanor. Do you know what it is if you're crossing the street illegally and you're not using a crosswalk? What do they call that? What is that called? If a cop cites you, what is it? What is that called?
Citation?
It's called a misdemeanor. It's a misdemeanor when you're in this country illegally, okay? I said violent criminals. Are you okay with someone that's committed a misdemeanor being deported to an El Salvador prison and separated from their family with no due process? Yes or no?
If they weren't supposed to be here, then absolutely.
So you're okay with that. Okay, so if you're a non-violent criminal, you're okay with people being sent to high maximum security prisons where they're beaten and where they're abused. We know for a fact that that's what took place in El Salvador with no due process. You're totally okay with that, sir. You're okay with that. So
in the sense that they're getting beaten, they don't.
Yeah, that you're unaware with what's going on in El Salvador. So on one instance, you want people held to the highest extent of the law if it's a misdemeanor. But if you're a 34 count convicted felon, I'll vote for you for president of the United States. Do you realize how ridiculous that sounds?
Well, if you.
Huh? What? Okay, sir.
Let me correct something.
No. Listen, I have been sitting here for 15 minutes trying to correct every stupid thing that you said. Have a nice day. What's on your mind today, Nelson?
Hey, bro, but like, don't go with the ad hominem attacks, bro. Just shut the fuck up.
Okay. So first of all, don't swear. You just said the F word on the air. I just told you to not swear. Hey, dummy! I just told you not to swear on the air. You don't tell me to calm down.
All right, fine.
No, it's not all right. So stop wasting. I'll do whatever I want to do. Now, what do you want to talk about?
But it makes you
Pot him down. Pot him down. Then don't listen to my show and don't call into my show. You don't tell me what to do. I've repeatedly said don't swear on this program because we're on the radio, and you just did that. So maybe you should worry a little bit more about yourself. Now that we've established that this is my show and it's not your show, and I don't have to ever take your call again if I don't want to, I'm going to ask you this question one time and one time.
Shout out to all the insecure, hurry back, weak ass, crybaby, wham, Andrew Tate, fruity, booty hole, PDF files. Welcome. Y'all always here. So I thought I'd give y'all a warm welcome. Crybabies.
Only. What topic are you calling in to discuss today? Otherwise, stop.
Trump reported Jeffrey Epstein, but he told her he kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago. Yeah, shut up. Shut the fuck up.
Wasting my time.
I don't know. I feel like you're gonna do another dip. So
You don't know. So let me ask you a question.
Yeah. I mean,
Stop talking now. I gave you the opportunity. You said you don't know. When you take your little Trump fingers and you call into this program,
I guarantee you don't none of you ridiculous motherfuckers even know what socialism or communism mean. You just repeating some shit you heard. Shut the fuck up.
what is going through your mind? What is going through your mind? Why is it that you don't have a topic that you want to talk about? You don't know what you're going to talk about. The only thing that you had in mind was, I don't want Brian to be mean to me. If you don't want me to be mean to you, and you don't want ad hominem attacks, then you do what any normal person with an IQ over 20 would do, which is, hey, Brian, here's what I think is going to happen in the State of the Union. Hey, Brian, here's why I disagree with you. Here's what I think Donald Trump is going to talk about today. Hey, Brian, here's why I agree or disagree with you on the snowball throwing incident in New York City. You actually talk about a topic that we've discussed on the show, whether you agree or disagree. Are you not capable of doing that? Because, sir, with all due respect, let me finish. Stop interrupting. That's another thing I don't like. If you're not capable of doing that, and you're not capable of talking about the news topics that we've discussed, then don't call into the show anymore. And I'm going to do what I want with you. Okay? If I think you're a moron, I'm going to call you a moron. Now I'm going to give you one more opportunity. Let's start all over again. And this will be your last chance. Hi, Nelson. Thanks for calling into... Hi, Nelson. That means you don't interrupt me. I'm talking. Hi, Nelson. Thank you for calling into the show. What's on your mind today? Go ahead, Nelson.
Hello, Brian. How are you?
Nelson, what would you like to talk about today?
Okay, we'll be fine.
I would like to talk about Trump defeating ISIS. I think that's something good he's done.
Nelson, did I talk about ISIS today on the program?
We good?
The answer is
I don't know.
the answer is no.
In like 10 minutes ago, dude. I just called in like 10 minutes ago.
What have I talked about? What have I talked about in the last 10 minutes?
In the last 10 minutes, I have no idea. Oh, wait, I have an idea. I do have an idea, but I'm just not interested in talking about the topic, though.
Okay, well, guess what? Then I'm not interested in...
All right.
Whatever you want to talk about. Hi, everybody. I'm a live streamer. It's a free-for-all. Let's talk about abortion. Let's talk about ICE. Let's talk about, I don't know, ISIS. Let's talk about anything. No, that's not the kind of show I do here. We talk about the news of the last 24 hours. The one thing I asked about my callers, well, two things. Don't swear. You broke that rule. Number two, be on topic. You broke that rule. This isn't brain surgery, folks, but if you're a Trump supporter, sometimes I have to repeat myself over and over and over again, and you people still don't get it. Have a nice day. Talk about ISIS with your boyfriend, Andrew Wilson. What was the threat when he... No, you hold on. No, you hold on. So, the word that you used.
Yeah, I'd like to push back on the Renee Good shooting specifically.
Sure.
I'm not going to like glorify it or anything. I'm not celebrating what happened because I think it's tragic and sad. But like, the officer was justified in that shoot.
I disagree. So let me ask you a question, sir. Where does it say when somebody is being... Let's go through this. Let's go by his own camera. Where does it say it's proper protocol to be carrying a cell phone in one hand and a weapon in the other? Is that proper when somebody pulls you over? Or somebody is that a proper protocol? Let's just go through it together, and then I'll hear you out as well. Is that proper protocol, sir?
I think because he didn't have the body camera, he was filming the whole interaction.
Is that proper protocol? You're not answering my question. Whether your body camera is working or not. Where does it say?
I have no idea.
Okay, so the answer. I understand. Okay, it's not. Thank you for answering that. Okay, it's not. It's not. Okay, because I've talked to people in law enforcement. It's not. Number two, when somebody says to you, "I'm not mad at you, bro," why wouldn't you converse with that individual and ask them to get out of the car instead? Why would you? Is it proper protocol to walk to the back of the car and then the front of the car? Is that a normal, proper protocol procedure? Is that what they train you to do?
I don't think that that's irregular, especially her behavior.
No. Okay, sir. She was...
Can we converse in the conversation?
Okay, we can converse in the conversation, but you're telling me that's the question was, is that proper protocol? Yes or no?
To walk to the back and then in the front?
And then stop in the front of the vehicle, which is exactly what he did. Is that proper protocol? It's a very simple question. I am conversing with you. I'm asking you a question. Please don't give me a roundabout answer.
I don't know if it's proper.
They are told not to walk in front of fucking cars. And this same idiot got dragged about 3 months prior to this for being in front of a fucking car. He got hit and dragged. So why the fuck are you standing in front of a car again, you dumbass?
The answer is no.
Walk around the vehicle.
So, sir, if you don't know what proper protocols are when you're trying to get somebody out of a vehicle or trying to remove somebody, then how can you justify the shooting when you don't even know what the proper protocols are? The answer is no. Number 3, let's talk about protocols.
Hold on. Go back to the second one.
Sure.
So you can't walk to the front or back of a car?
I never said,
sir, or a ICE agent?
Sir, I never said you can't do it. I said it's not proper.
That protocol question is completely...
No, it's not. No, it's not. Sorry. In this situation, when they're trying to make an arrest because they were trying to attempt to get her out of the vehicle, you do not walk to the back of the vehicle or the front of the vehicle when the vehicle is still on. That is a proper training protocol event that you are not supposed to do. It's cut and dry. Number 3, after the shooting took place, sir, when he checks to see, is she supposed to check her pulse or anything like that? Did he provide any life-saving techniques, or is it proper protocol to leave the scene immediately? Is that proper protocol to leave the scene immediately with the weapon? Is that proper protocol?
Probably when you're injured, yeah.
Okay, so you're telling me that it's proper protocol, in your opinion, after an officer-involved shooting, to walk right back into your car, do not provide life-saving service to the individual that needed it, and leave the scene.
There, man.
Okay, that is also not proper protocol. So now that we've gone through...
there are other cops there. Why does he have to stick around?
Because he was one of the first people that had the opportunity to provide her life-saving care. He walks over to the vehicle. He looks inside the vehicle. He casually walks back to his car without limping or appearing to be injured at all and drives away. That's why. So? See, you think it's so. You see, let me tell you something, sir. In a situation... No, hold on. No, please, no. You hold on. No, you please stop. You just said so. If that was your wife or your sister or your son or your daughter that was injured in an accident or was involved in any circumstance where every second matters to get that person life-saving care, and the first person that could have given your loved one life-saving care casually doesn't even check the person's pulse in your family and walks back to their car and leaves, you would say so? Would that be your response, sir?
My response would be, why are you driving your car to...
No, not the question. Not the question that I'm asking you. Not the question that I'm asking you. You just said so. What I am trying to explain to you, sir, is that when there is a situation where somebody needs life-saving help, because we've learned that her heart was still beating for 8 minutes, you check her pulse and you provide life-saving care. He didn't do that. He left. He put his scarf over his face so nobody recognized him, casually walked back to his car, told people to call 911. And the fact that you would defend that and say so means you have absolutely zero credibility and you have no idea what... Yes, you are. You're defending Jonathan Ross. Yes, you are. You're defending Jonathan Ross for a woman, and she did not try to intentionally hit the officer. She turned her wheel. It does matter. She turned her wheel and she grazed him. He wasn't gravely injured. Let me ask you a question. If she struck him with any intent, if she struck him with any sort of force at all, why is it he was still able to hold on to his cell phone and he didn't fall to the ground? You dope.
Well, it depends on where the injury is.
Oh, please.
There is no injury. There's no record of any injury to that man.
Can you please tell me where the record is and what hospital he went to?
What hospital did he go to? What was his injury?
What were his injuries, sir?
You want me to violate HIPAA standards?
So how do you know he was injured then if they're HIPAA standards?
Know?
Yeah, how would you know then, sir? How do you know that information?
Isn't that the report?
No.
There is no report.
No, there is no report. You know where you're getting that information from? Sir, I'm answering your question because you're very ill-informed. There were 2 unnamed sources that CBS mentioned. There is no record. And the next day, the Daily Mail took pictures of him outside his house carrying stuff and moving stuff around. He wasn't injured. You have no idea what you're talking about. But please go ahead and defend ICE and an innocent woman that was shot in the face. Oh, yeah, one other thing. What was the threat when he... No, you hold on. No, you hold on. So, the word that you used. 2 shots were fired on the side of the vehicle when the car had already passed him. The New York Times did a second-by-second look at that. I would assume, sir, that you never saw that video, did you? Because you're so ill-informed. So what? He didn't check her pulse. So what? He didn't provide life-saving care. You have no empathy, and you are a buffoon. Why don't you just admit it? No, you don't. No, you don't. You are defending. Do you want a full investigation?
That's why when it's your fucking people, we're going to laugh at your bitch ass.
Into this officer, Jonathan Ross? Do you
Call
want
Hennepin County
like
District Attorney and tell them?
What is there to hold on? Okay, be quiet. The dope just said, what is there to investigate? Hey, dumbbell.
Murder.
There's something called ballistics. You check where the shots were fired. Are you aware, sir, which I'm sure you're not, that when they were investigating blood splatter and they were investigating ballistics, Kash Patel told them to stop? Are you aware of that, sir? That I've actually talked to people that were 30 feet away that weren't even interviewed by the FBI? Are you aware, sir, that they didn't do an autopsy? Are you aware, sir, that there wasn't a full investigation? After every officer involved shooting, there is something called a full investigation where they do ballistics, blood spatter, the whole 9 yards. But they didn't do that with this guy. You know why? I'll tell you why. I believe this is an administration that you support. So now why don't you tell us who you voted for? Did you vote for Donald Trump? Did you vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris, God almighty so? Who did you vote for, sir?
Well, it doesn't matter.
No, because you voted for Trump. That's why. That's why you don't want to answer that question. Because you voted for Donald Trump, a man that has no empathy because you don't have no empathy. So screw you and have a nice day.
Trump is targeting everybody with brown skin, and they don't care if you're Mexican, they don't care if you're Native American, they don't care if you're a citizen, they don't care.
How do you not benefit from this system as a white tea person? Come on.
How do I benefit from it?
No, first answer me how you don't,
Bitch,
and I'll tell you how you do.
MAGA forever. That shit over.
Because I'm looked down upon, because I don't.
MAGA forever. The South should rise again. Oh, God. That shit over already, bitch.
The mold.
What's the mold?
I don't have money. I don't have a car. I don't have the best of everything. I grew up with it, but I don't have it.
Elaborate. What do you mean you grew up with it, but you don't have it?
I grew up in a middle-class family.
Okay.
Okay. But over the years, things have happened and it's gone. And I'm not saying this to get any sympathy or anything, because you know what? It is what it is. You live the life you're given, right? And try to make the best of it. I have not been through the struggles that brown people have been through. I have not been through the struggles that black people have been through. I've not been through the struggles yellow people have been through. I've not been through those struggles. I do say, oh, you know, they're Mexican, oh, they're black or whatever, but I don't care. I said, I don't look at color. I try not to look at color. I get darker in the sun too. I've been called a weta at the end of summer many times.
So basically your argument is you don't benefit from this system, and you want me to tell you if I claim that you do, how so? Right?
Yeah.
Like
okay, let me go there. Let me go there with you. You acknowledge that you are white tea, of course.
Yes.
I'm not.
I know you're not.
If you do not benefit from this system, do people of your race get treated better than people not of your race?
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying as far as benefit. Yes.
So yes or no?
Yes, they do.
Is that not a privilege?
Unfortunately.
Fortunately for you.
I don't think it's fair, and I don't think it's right.
But you acknowledge it's a real thing.
It's a real thing. But I guess I'm saying I don't want it to be a real thing, and that's where I'm getting at.
However, I do prove my point that you do have privilege, yes?
I do, yes. When it comes to getting a job, things like that, yes, I guess I do.
That is listen to me. Hold on, let me just say this. That is literally what white tea privilege is, because it's systemic. It's systemic. Okay? That's exactly what it means. Because I've seen white tea people say things like, they make videos, oh, I don't get a white tea privilege in the mail, a check in the mail. It's a systemic effort that benefits you at our expense.
But
Okay?
that doesn't mean I want to be a part of it. Yes, I'm white, and yes, I have no choice but to be a part of it.
You benefit from it, yes?
I have. I guess I have. Yeah.
That is exactly what white tea privilege is. It means literally nothing else other than this.
Okay. But are you going to hold it against?
What do you mean when you say, are you going to hold it against me? What do you mean by that?
I don't want to be. I hate when I'm looked at for the color of my skin instead of the person I am. And I know it cannot be helped. I know it cannot be helped, but I don't like being looked at any more than y'all do. Like being looked at for the color of my skin. I hate it. I don't want to be looked at as a person instead of a thing.
I'm gonna pause you right there. That's the problem. Is you are looked at as a person, we are looked as a lesser than a person. What is it that you feel like I'm holding against you?
I guess when they start attacking YT people because we're all grouped together.
You feel like we here attack white tea people? And if so, how so, please?
Not attack, but verbally. If I could change my color of skin to be a rainbow, I would. So I could fit in everywhere.
Bet you won't
but
be
then
black.
again, I wouldn't exist because I'd be rainbow. I guess that's what it is. Not fitting in with everybody, if that makes sense. My dad had a store here. He didn't care about the color of his skin. He hired the first black pharmacist in Waco. I had friends that were here illegally. But you know what? I was the one that gave them sheets and towels for their house. You know? I'm the one that helped get their kids to and from school. I understand what y'all are saying and why y'all are saying it, and I'm not against it at all. I'm for it.
See, now I'm going to pause you right there. So you said, I understand what you guys say, what you say, and I'm for it. How are you for it if you feel attacked at the same time?
Because I'm admitting I'm wrong, is what I'm saying. I said I was wrong in saying that. My words were wrong. I was wrong in what I was saying.
When you did feel that we were attacking white tea people, can you please give me examples of how you interpreted what we were saying as attacking white tea people, please?
Because I keep forgetting I'm white. I don't forget I'm white. That's not the right words, but because of the circumstances of my birth, I am part of the problem.
It's not the circumstances of your birth why you're the problem. Part of the problem first was that you did not acknowledge and you denied your privilege. First, that's number one.
I was wrong. I was wrong.
Yeah. But I'm going to explain to you what the problem is. And it's not the circumstance of your birth what the problem is. I'm explaining to you what part of the problem is. Number one is you're in denial about your benefits at the expense of non-white people. That's number one. Number two, you identified us addressing certain issues as attacking white people. Now,
this guy is not white, and he don't look fucking white. The fuck are you talking about? This guy is white too. White, y'all want everybody to be white, don't y'all? This motherfucker is not white. He don't look white at all. So what the fuck are you talking about? Havoc, or whatever the fuck your name is. You about stupid.
check this out. If in a different world, in a different reality, you and I were relatives and we lived in a household out there in the middle of the woods, and we understood.
Oh, bitch, you definitely privileged or underprivileged. The less melanin you have, privilege is based on melanin. I'm glad you said that. Health-wise. Please believe it.
Every time we exited our little
you
hut,
know that.
if you will, to go get some wood, to go get some food, etc. And every time that we ran into, let's say, a leopard, and every time that we ran into a leopard, we were attacked by the leopard. If I tell you, hey, Lisa, when you go out there, be careful for the leopard. Be careful, because it might eat you. Okay? Am I attacking the leopard?
No.
What am I doing?
Keeping both of us safe. The leopard and me.
Okay. So when I'm here speaking to brown and black people, the people that white tea people have colonized, the people that we have over 500 years of history that attack us, that came to pillage, colonize, enslave, what am I doing?
Talking to your people and talking. Yeah, I get it.
Am I protecting my people?
Yeah. Yeah, you
Am
are.
I attacking you?
No. And again, I learned. I came here to learn, and I learned. Thank you. Thank you, Ricardo.
Now with that said, now let's get back to reality. Let's get back to reality. In my humble opinion and understanding, the solution to this issue is not to come and try to address and control the narrative of non-white tea people, but instead you as a white tea person, you go into white tea people's spaces and address those that are bigoted. To come in here and feel attacked and try to argue against us about what we're going through is not the solution. See, it's not the nature of you're born white tea of what the problem is. It's the nature of you coming here to tone police, to control our narrative, and to try to guilt us for being aware of the colonizer.
That was definitely not my intention.
But that's exactly what was happening. Do you understand?
And that's why I'm apologizing profusely for it, because I learned tonight.
Since you like to come into my space and the space of non-white tea people to get involved in these particular subject matter conversations, what if you open up a platform? You have a lot of followers. What if you open up your platform to welcome white tea people to understand things of the conversation that you and I had?
We do talk about things like that because it affects us all. But then it hurts some of them so bad.
Oh, get them little tears. Get a cup. Somebody get a cup.
They don't want to talk about it.
When we discuss about the problems going on here now.
Hey, Swindipity. You need to go over there with her and get a hug, man. Go get a hug. It's gonna be all right. It's not your fault, okay? It's just how you was born. Keep your head up.
It brings them into such a mind space they don't even want to. Their thoughts go to bad places.
Let's say that you had your own home that your parents built for you, and you now inherited that particular home.
I did.
And you live there, right?
Yep.
And you're there happily minding your beautiful business.
Yep.
Not bothering nobody.
Yep.
And here I come with my band of pirates, and we break into your home and take over, right? And I end up having children in that home, and I force you to stay in that room, and we'll take over the rest. We'll tell you when to come to the refrigerator and what you can get and what you can't. We'll set the rules of your own household. We'll tell you what you can do and can't do. You'll live by our rules and regulations. I teach my children to run.
Morts, what up? What up? What up? Welcome back to the chat.
Your children. And after each generation, it continues this way. Eventually, your children will say, hey, I don't like the way we're living. This is our home. Why do we have to live under your rules? And my children will say, man, stop complaining. Why are you always complaining? We gave you a room over there. We allowed you to go to the refrigerator. Let me ask you a question, and please be as honest as possible.
Always.
In this particular scenario, what is the solution to solve the issue of this of your children and grandchildren? What is the solution here? How can your children's children, how can they again be free in their own home? What is the solution for them to be free again without this interference of these pirates and their descendants that are running your own house that you built? What is the solution for these people to have freedom in their own home again?
My off the top of my head would be to leave.
I would my children's children would have to
I'm right there with you, Mark Hasbro.
leave. Yeah.
I would have to. My children would leave.
Well, why
Build
would
their
they
own
have to leave?
home.
Why would they have to leave? If it's
I
their
don't know.
home.
Well, at this point, it's your children's home too, as well, is it not? Because they've been living there for decades.
So it's so I can justifiably claim this home that I stole, and if you don't like it, you get to leave?
No, what I'm saying is, after that long, it's owned by both.
Oh, is that correct?
That's my thinking, because
well, that makes a lot of sense.
You got to break a cycle. You've got to break the cycle. At some point, somehow get together, if that makes sense.
So 5 white dudes have more money than half the entire planet, but an immigrant that will come here just to be here to work any job is the reason why you're struggling to pay your bills. You should probably rethink that one, buddy. So 5 white...
Can I just say this? For all the undocumented immigrants that have only committed misdemeanors that are not violent criminals, I want you to stay, and I want Adam to be deported to an El Salvador prison. Have a nice day, Adam.
I wanted to talk about the ruling on the Supreme Court came down with the anchor babies.
Yes.
And it kind of ties in with the illegals, too, I guess. How is that an okay thing that, let's just say, a terrorist organization can send some of their units over to America illegally, get in the country, have babies that anchor them to the U.S.? Wouldn't that be infiltration?
No,
Wouldn't
because
that be not diverse?
No, because if you look at Kavanaugh's decision and you look at Roberts' decision, they believe it violates the 14th Amendment. So obviously, from a legal perspective, no. It doesn't bother me at all. And I have, if you're asking me personally, but if you're talking about from the legal perspective, keep in mind that these are Supreme Court justices that were put in place because of Donald Trump. And they voted against Donald Trump's authority to issue this birthright citizenship executive order because they felt like it violated the 14th Amendment. So you're entitled to your opinion and you can be really upset about it, but it still doesn't change the fact that they voted this way, the Supreme Court did.
Well, I mean, and to go to the illegals that kind of tie into that, a misdemeanor.
Well, hold on, one at a time. Hold on, we'll get to the misdemeanor in a second.
No, I agree with you, I guess, on the anchor baby thing.
Okay, all right, so we can move on. Okay, all right, so we can move on that. Now let's talk about, a misdemeanor. So let me ask you a question. You think if you commit a misdemeanor, you should be put in solitary confinement, not given due process, and sent to El Salvador prisons? You think committing a misdemeanor deserves that sort of, I don't know, I guess punishment, for lack of a better term? Are you comfortable with that on a misdemeanor?
Yeah, I am.
Oh,
if you come into my country illegally.
Okay, hold on.
If you come in the country illegally, maybe not to El Salvador, but I think you should be pushed back out of the border.
Okay, so that wasn't necessarily my question.
Maybe behind the gate or whatever.
Okay, well, that's not what they're doing. Okay, so my question wasn't that. My question was, well, let me ask you this. What does it say in our Constitution about due process?
Well, I don't know for verbatim.
You don't? Okay, well, I do. You don't. It's kind of important.
All right, all right, I'll listen to what you have to say.
Okay, fair enough. So it says in our Constitution, and this is verbatim, any person has the right to due process. Now, our forefathers could have put down any citizen. They deliberately chose not to do that. And what the Trump administration is doing in many cases is not giving people due process, like sending people to El Salvador prisons or sending people to countries where they're not their origin. You have to be able in our country to give everybody the right to due process. I'll give you another example of how they are breaking laws in this country. If you want to talk about not misdemeanors, but simply breaking law. If you're in Mexico, for example, and you're seeking asylum and you come to this country and you filed all the proper paperwork, it is illegal for our government to deport you. You're aware of that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. The Trump administration is breaking the law You've seen the videos, I'm sure, Adam, where they are tackling people and arresting people and deporting people right outside of courtrooms after their hearings. They have filed the appropriate paperwork. Now, not everybody has filed the proper paperwork. Not everybody is going about it the right way, but the Trump administration is breaking the law. So for those same people like yourself that are talking about misdemeanors, and if you commit a misdemeanor and you come to this country illegal, I want you deported because you're breaking the law. What about the Trump administration? Doesn't that bother you just as much, maybe even if not more? About the Trump administration, doesn't that bother you just as much, maybe even if not more, that they're not abiding by our own Constitution and they're deporting people illegally? Does that bother you as well? At least I'll ask you that.
I don't know where you're getting your evidence.
You don't know where I'm getting. Okay, do you have a phone, Adam? Do you have a phone? Are you on your phone right now,
my
Adam?
phone right here in my hand.
Okay. So Adam, first of all, I would like you to Google what I just said, and let's work on this together, Adam. Okay. Go ahead and Google right now on your phone what I just said. Tell me if I'm lying.
I am. Give me 1 second.
Okay. I'm happy to do this with you on the phone. Okay. And I want to give you the opportunity to learn about what I am saying right now. First of all, what it says in our Constitution. Does it say any citizen has the right to due process or any person has the right to due process? We could start there because I think
for the last 8 years, same people telling me if I don't like.
Way out of your depth, little bro.
I couldn't answer that. You said it already recovered, yet it was down to 0.5. Anyways, this is getting old, Dean. What about the ISM?
No, concede.
You already did. You conceded.
What did I?
You already did. You conceded.
What did I? This idiot. Take it away and tell us why you support this terrible president who's destroying the economy. The mic and the floor are yours.
And I don't care what they tell you. It ain't no amount of swim lessons.
Okay.
I'm not here to get into trolling or hate.
And I don't care what they tell you. It ain't no amount of swim lessons, no quality of life jacket that can keep you safe on the water when you're confronted with racism. And I don't care what they tell you.
Okay.
I'm not here to get into trolling or hate.
No, I'm not here to do that. I appreciate you calling in. All right, so tell me, what where do I start here? Why are you supporting Donald Trump? I guess let's start there.
Well, this would be my first time voting for him.
Okay.
In the past, however, 12 years, however, since 2016.
Okay.
I have voted in the past, but for me, he has the policies that make sense.
Which policies?
Honestly.
Like, give me some specifics. What specific policies that you like?
Economically, we're not in a good spot economically. I feel that in my day-to-day life.
Okay, so that's your opinion on that, but specifically, like economically isn't a policy. So, like, what specific policies that Trump implemented you disagree with the Democrats on, and you could say, man, I really like that policy. That really helped the economy, because he did put us $8.4 trillion in debt, and he left an economy that was terrible compared to the economy that he took over from Barack Obama. So I just want to know, like, what did he do in 4 years? Because you said you like his policies, and I just want to know, like, what policies do you like? Right? That's a fair question.
Right. No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Economically, you bring up the debt.
Sure.
I think the debt has been something to play with for these people. It's up to blame on just presidents, but, the debt's out of control, obviously. Everybody says they'll get it under control, but
okay,
who knows? But and we had COVID.
Right.
We had to spend our way out of COVID.
You think he did a
I
good
don't put
job
that on
handling
Donald Trump?
You think he did a good
He
job
did a
handling
fine
COVID?
job.
So when he said 15
He did a
cases,
fine job.
so when he said 15 cases down to 0, it's going to be gone by Easter. He talked about disinfectant, and he turned his coronavirus press conferences into campaign rallies. Would you define that as a good job?
I wouldn't define that as defining the government's program of COVID at the time.
Okay, well, we were losing when he left. We were losing 3,000 to 5,000 people.
We're gonna move over to YouTube, y'all.
Take a look at this.
The prosecutor investigating U.S. boat strikes and torture allegations in Ecuador in connection with the Trump war crimes blowing up those boats off the coast of Venezuela. The prosecutor was assassinated.
We cut fentanyl. For years, they've been interdicting. They've been grabbing boats, bringing them in, putting them in court. They go out by the same night. They're back sending drugs by the ocean, by the Gulf, by the sea. And now it's down 97%.
Trump got some devastating news regarding his boat strikes.
But according to internal DEA assessments obtained by the Washington Post, the campaign has not significantly reduced the supply of cocaine entering the United States.
You remember the boat strikes, the ones that Republicans classified as extrajudicial killings.
No one said their name. No one said what evidence. No one said whether they're armed. And we've had no evidence presented. So at this point, I would call them extrajudicial killings.
Well, it appears, according to Trump's own DEA, that they haven't been as effective as he likes to present them as. Now, if you recall, Donald Trump spent months claiming that his military strikes on alleged drug boats have produced one of the greatest victories in the history of drug enforcement. He said that maritime drug trafficking had fallen by 97%, before then adding a very specific 98.2% in a Truth Social post. But a new assessment from Trump's own Drug Enforcement Administration reportedly reaches a very different conclusion. After more than 60 military strikes, which has left more than 200 people dead, cocaine is apparently still reaching the United States. According to this report, supply has not meaningfully declined and prices have not meaningfully changed.
Despite repeated claims from the president that maritime drug trafficking has been nearly eliminated. The Post also reports that Pentagon officials privately acknowledged to lawmakers that these strikes are, quote, probably not the most effective tool. Together, the two investigations raise bigger questions about both the effectiveness and accountability of this entire military campaign.
It suggests that trafficking organizations have simply adapted. This coming from a Washington Post report that cites Pentagon and DEA assessments. They found that Operation Southern Spear had not significantly reduced the amount of cocaine entering the United States. Smugglers reportedly began avoiding areas patrolled by the US military. Some were reported to have used larger vessels capable of carrying more drugs. Others increased their reliance on air routes from Colombia and Venezuela.
Venezuela, there are survivors from your latest boat strike. What happens to those survivors?
Well, I'll ask Marco to discuss that possibly.
Yeah, it's well known there's an ongoing narco-terrorist operation the United States has been conducting. As far as details of any recent strikes, we're not prepared here to announce all those details, but you'll get that information here very shortly.
And how are there survivors when these are meant to be lethal attacks?
Yeah, again, I mean, we're undertaking these operations against narco-terrorists. That's what these are. These are terrorists. Let's be clear. And but as far as the details of any recent operations, when we are prepared to announce those, we will, as the president has consistently done. So you may get something on that later today.
DEA officials described the effect as squeezing a balloon. Pressure one section and activity moves somewhere else. Now, to clarify, nobody's celebrating more drugs coming into the United States, but the reason that this should be a bigger story is that Trump flaunted these alleged victories as a means to justify playing judge, jury, and executioner. Meanwhile, the administration's own assessment suggests that the strikes mostly displaced trafficking rather than stopping it. Aside from that, what was perhaps the most troubling part of all of it is that of the 221 people killed by the US government, there wasn't any kind of trial or legal process. I mean, the administration never even followed up with information to the public to prove that these people were in fact, quote, narco-terrorists, which alarmed countless politicians on both sides of the political aisle.
Start with you, Senator Paul. What do you need to hear in a briefing? What questions do you have?
You know, it's not so much about a briefing, but we haven't had a briefing. To be clear, we've got no information. I've been invited to no briefing. But a briefing is not enough to overcome the Constitution. The Constitution says that when you go to war, Congress has to vote on it. And during a war, then, there's a lower rules for engagement. People do sometimes get killed without due process. But the drug war or the crime war has typically been something we do through law enforcement. And so far, they have alleged that these people are drug dealers. No one said their name. No one said what evidence. No one said whether they're armed. And we've had no evidence presented. So at this point, I would call them extrajudicial killings. And this is akin to what China does, to Iran does with drug dealers. They summarily execute people without presenting evidence to the public. So it's wrong.
All right, here's...
Well, if orders are illegal, not only do they not have to follow them, they are legally required not to follow them.
Do you think that constitutes an illegal order?
I think there needs to be an investigation. And I hope that the reporting is not accurate. I care so much about the United States Navy and those service members. This was an operation involving the most professional members of the military, U.S. Navy SEALs, who I revere. I hope and pray that this is not true. But there needs to be an investigation by the Inspector General. Pete Hegseth fired many of the inspectors general in DOD, but who's ever left needs to investigate it. We're going to investigate it. I sit on the Armed Services Committee. We're going to have an investigation. We're going to have a public hearing. We're going to put these folks under oath, and we're going to find out what happened, and then there needs to be accountability.
Let me ask you.
And now this, you have the operational information indicating that the campaign did not even deliver the result that was used to justify it. But because Hoorah Hegseth is out here posting videos of bombs going off over Kid Rock tunes, that's supposed to hold up in court as a justification for capital punishment? I mean, what is happening here?
If you look at our numbers, the drugs coming in through sea are down 91%. I'm surprised there's 9% you want to. I don't know who's doing the 9%, but it's down 91, and we're going to start very soon on land, and I'm sure you're thrilled to hear that.
All right, so Jessica, it takes 2 strikes to knock the boat down to the bottom of the ocean. How is that a war crime?
All right, ladies, what kind of crib y'all in and what y'all paying for home insurance in 2026?
3-bed ranch, full coverage, $520 a year. My mom see my bill and switched the next day. 4-bed, full coverage.
Well, it's a war crime, and we didn't play any Republicans, but there were plenty of them that have been talking about, like John Yoo, who was the architect of the Bush 9/11 response, was talking about this as well, that if there are people who are shipwrecked, which is what these 2 survivors were.
Survivors?
They survived the first strike.
They're not survivors.
Okay.
They're victims.
You know,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's how the DOD manual says that you have to do it, that you have to take them, you should send a helicopter to get them out of there, and then you try them. Or international law also says that as well. You could play Roger Wicker talking about it, Senator Tom Tillis, Mike Turner. These are all Republicans saying it. So the narrative that this is about the left getting all hot and bothered about another hoax is absolutely ludicrous.
Can I just ask you one question?
No, you can't, actually. You already asked me a question. No, I insist you stop.
What happens if we hit a terrorist and the terrorist survives? We're supposed to send a helicopter to rescue him and then give him first aid?
We know that this isn't
Jessica,
a hoax
yes
because
or no?
a best case...
The same Washington Post article cited some DEA officials who openly admit that the military operation may have disrupted conventional investigations by eliminating possible sources and evidence. And yeah, no shit. It's hard to interrogate someone or gather further evidence to justify their prosecution when this is deemed the most effective law enforcement tool.
For almost a year, the U.S. government has been illegally bombing fishing boats and killing people without evidence of wrongdoing. And last month, Alexandra Bravo, the Ecuadorian prosecutor investigating boats that were attacked or disappeared, was murdered. This is not a coincidence. There must be an independent investigation.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MidasPlus.com.
Donald Trump is now making emergency filings to shut down cases that he has brought or that the DOJ has been bringing at Donald Trump's request. For example, on the Trump personal side, Trump sued the BBC for $10 billion, saying that they defamed him and how they covered January 6th. And I want $10 billion. So the BBC said, okay, great. You want $10 billion. We're going to subpoena your financials. Let's see how you claim you were injured by $10 billion. And then Donald Trump's like, you don't have the right to go into my finances. You need to subpoena the Trump Revocable Trust. And the Trump Irrevocable Trust is not a party to this litigation. Donald Trump is, not the irrevocable.
In Conflict of Nations, you can build an army, battle other players, create alliances, and even drop a nuke. Just tap below and download now.
Across America, communities are coming together to talk about.
Donald Trump is panicking, and he just kicked out the press from the Oval Office when he held separate meetings, first with President Zelensky of Ukraine and then with Prime Minister Netanyahu of Israel. Donald Trump refused to allow the press into the Oval Office to attend these meetings. Donald Trump knows that his catastrophic war in Iran is spiraling out of control. He is destroying the economy here in the United States. Iran does not want to make a deal with Donald Trump. He did not want to answer any questions at all from the press. I mean, you can see some of these photos right here. This photo of Zelensky entering the White House through the gates right there. You see this photo of Prime Minister Netanyahu of Israel, obviously trying to get Donald Trump to destroy Iranian infrastructure, power plants, and bridges. You see J.D. Vance looking very awkward there, as he always does. He clearly does not want to be around Netanyahu in the Oval Office. These are photos that are now just coming out from the White House that they are releasing. Donald Trump, instead of allowing the press to attend these Oval Office meetings with Netanyahu and Zelensky, Trump is posting the following on social media: head for an eye. And he's quoting Rubio saying that Iran is begging U.S. to make a deal, adds that Donald Trump's policy is not an eye for an eye, it is a head for an eye. Donald Trump speaking like the despicable war criminal that he is. Also, Donald Trump posting the following while these meetings are taking place from his account on Truth Social: Trump on TikTok. He claims that he's the #1 most followed and watched world leader on TikTok in June of 2026. It's not true, but he wants everybody to know that. He claims he got 425 billion views. He just makes up a number. 425 billion views. And he says there were 1 billion views across UFC 250, Trump's Iran peace deal, and Happy Birthday, Mr. President TikToks. I guess so. He's just claiming that every TikTok is his TikTok. And then he's claiming the Iran peace deal was great because it brought him TikTok views. Now, in the real world, Iran's IRGC spokesperson just held a press conference warning that any country or company that takes money from Iran's frozen assets will have its ships barred from transiting the Strait of Hormuz. There are no tankers, no ships leaving the Strait of Hormuz under Iran's firm control, and you still have the Saudi Arabian refineries burning in the east and the west of Saudi Arabia. They actually had to shut down the Jazan refinery, which produces a lot there. And but Donald Trump is posting TikToks, everybody, bragging that the Iran peace deal, which doesn't exist, got him a lot of views on TikTok, everybody. That's what Trump wants you to know. While Donald Trump refused to allow the press into these meetings with Zelensky and Netanyahu, Donald Trump did call into state regime media, which calls itself Fox, and Donald Trump said, hey, I just want you all to know I control the Strait of Hormuz. Seriously, that's what he says. He calls state regime media. He doesn't allow the press to attend the Netanyahu meeting, where Netanyahu wants the United States to get into more catastrophic wars. Does not attend the meeting with Zelensky when Donald Trump promised that he would bring peace in the war from Russia and Ukraine in 24 hours, Donald Trump said. back during the election. Remember that? Won't allow the press in, but he calls state regime media Fox and says, Iran doesn't control the Strait, I control it. No, you don't. What a delusional, sick maniac this guy is. Here, play this clip.
Get through. Iran doesn't control the Strait. We control the Strait. Now, they can drop a couple of mines in there and screw things up, but we control the Strait.
Then Brian Kilmeade of state regime media Fox says, okay, you keep claiming you're talking with people on Iran and they want to make a deal. Iran says they are not even talking to you, that they're having no discussions, that they don't want to negotiate. So who are you speaking to? Are you speaking to MB Ghalibaf? Are you speaking to Aragchi? Who are you speaking to the Ayatollah? Obviously, he's not speaking to any of these people. Who are you talking to? And then Donald Trump's like, they're just very good. I don't want to say they're very good conversations. They're begging for a deal. They're begging me right now. No, they're not begging you. And this is just such an embarrassment to the United States. I mean, we're beyond that point at this point, but this is what he's doing this morning. Here, play this clip.
There is on Iran, but Iran has come out publicly and said, we're not talking to the U.S. We're going to pause as long as they're paused.
We are talking a little while ago because.
So could you tell me who you're talking to, Mr. President?
For some reason, we can be in the midst of a beautiful discussion, and they'll come out and say, "We're not talking," or "We didn't discuss nuclear." Well, that's all we discussed because they'll never have a nuclear weapon. They understand that, and we have had some very good talks and very interesting with Lindsey. He was very much a hawk, as you would say, on Iran. And over the last few weeks, I would say that he became like, if you could make a deal, it's better making a deal in this case than just destroying the rest of the country. We've destroyed most of it, frankly. But he was somebody that said it's a good time to make a deal, nice time to make a deal.
What does a good deal look like?
Now, I wouldn't say necessarily he feels that way about Ukraine. He's very militant about. I mean, Lindsey liked war, to be honest with you, okay? You know, I said, you're a nice guy. How come you like war so much? He was a guy that liked war. I jokingly...
And then he starts threatening the war crimes again. They're begging me for a deal, but I'm getting ready to blow up their desalination facilities. I want to make sure that they don't get their water. I'm going to blow up their bridges. Do you know how long it would take me, Brian? It would take me 15 minutes to blow up all of their bridges, all of their desalination plants, and then what would they have? They would have nothing. All 91 million people. This is what he's saying. Here, play this clip.
This is actually a good time to make a deal for them. If they don't make a deal, then I go back and I finish the job. But that's going to take them forever to rebuild. Already, it'll take them many years to ever to rebuild. And if I go back and finish up the job, as some people would like, with the bridges, very easy. I could take out most of their bridges in less than an hour. Less than an hour. But, it takes them 10 years to build a bridge. Bridges take the longest, and power plants are second. I can knock out the power plants. Within one day, all of their power plants would be gone. And I let them know that, with negotiations. I said, look, people want me to do that. I think I get almost the same thing out of it as doing it. But the problem is they'll never be able to, I think about 91 million people without power, without bridges, would have to live. And it's a very, very delicate balance. Yeah. So I think we have a very strong position right now. They know I'm going to do that if they don't make a deal. The bridges are going to be gone. Literally in less than, I would say in 2 hours, most of the major bridges will all be gone. And the power plants in one day.
And then he says, Brian, everybody, the tariffs, they've stopped 8 wars. You all know that, right? I stopped 8 wars, mostly with the tariffs. What do you mean you stopped 8 wars with the tariffs? I keep repeating this over and over again because it's objectively true that Donald Trump is actually a psychotic individual. Like, actually psychotic. Yes, he's a malignant narcissist, but this is the worst possible human being, the worst of all of the human beings. I could pick anybody right now as I'm walking outside. You, like literally at random. They would be better than Donald Trump by far, by the way. He's delusional. He's delusional. Yes, the tariffs stopped 8 wars. The tariffs didn't stop any war. What are you talking about? And then he goes, yes, the tariffs stopped nuclear war between Pakistan and India. With my tariffs, I did it. Come on, people. Here, play this clip.
The tariffs have made this country a fortune. It made the country rich, and I stopped 8 wars. I would say 5 of them because of tariffs. The threat of tariffs stopped India and Pakistan from going into a nuclear war. The threat of tariffs stopped numerous other countries from going to war. These tariffs, it's the greatest thing, and only the really smart people or the people that are non-political and that get it talk about it. The Democrats know how good it's been.
Then Brian Kilmeade's like, but are you worried, though, that the new tariffs that you've put in place, 50% tariffs on certain Canadian products, 25% tariffs against Brazil, 10 to 12.5% tariffs on 60 economies across the world, UK, European Union, Australia, more on Canada, by claiming that they are aiding and abetting involuntary servitude in their countries, that you've made that decision, thus you're going to tariff them. And you say the U.S. is imperfect, but these other countries can't disprove that they don't get their labor from slave labor, so we're going to tariff them, but the U.S. doesn't do it. The U.S. doesn't do it. And Donald Trump's like, it's bringing in hundreds of billions of dollars. We're so rich. We're getting all this tariff money. It's a tax on us, you idiot. You're taxing American companies that are being passed on to consumers. It's why inflation is surging. It's why we're very close to having interest rates having to be raised by the Fed, by your guy, Kevin Warren.
Cindy Prim, what's up, y'all? Let's get this live stream cracking. Let's get this live stream popping.
Because inflation is surging and getting out of control again. You can go, well, it was good last month. First of all, it wasn't good. Year over year, it's up over former President Biden, who you would criticize. And it should be at 2% if you did nothing. And now, because of the catastrophic and unlawful war that's resumed in Iran, it's going to be over 4%, and the Fed's going to have to raise the interest rates, and people can't afford homes, and mortgage rates are higher. And it's a real disaster because of you. Here, play this clip.
Are you worried that the tariffs that you put forward over the last couple of days will hurt the economy as they adjust in bringing manufacturing home?
No, because it's bringing hundreds of billions of dollars. I was at General Motors yesterday. They have the best year. They have the most trucks, the most cars. The tariffs have saved General Motors. What I've done to the auto business, what I've done to the chip business, we have chip.
And then Donald Trump, this is what state regime media keeps pushing, Dr. Fauci stuff, Dr. Fauci this. And this is what Donald Trump is talking about. Again, won't allow the cameras in during the Zelensky meeting. Kick them out so that they couldn't be there with Zelensky and Netanyahu. But he wants to spend his time attacking Dr. Fauci. Here, play this clip.
Something different.
This is the breakdown pedal kayak from Temu. Fits nicely in the truck because it's 2 pieces. Plenty of spaces for fishing rods to troll. The back end of your pedals, your oars break in half, front of your kayak. Use the pedal.
All right, welcome to the show, y'all. Hope everybody out there is having a great day. Prepare yourself for today, because in just a second, MAGA is in an all-out panic and doom spiral because the new polls on the midterms are just absolutely catastrophic for them. So I cannot wait to give you those updates. I'm going to lead with that in just a second here. We also have just an astonishing and devastating and scary story about how a prosecutor of Trump's war crimes was murdered in broad daylight. I mean, it sounds like something from a movie. It's not. It's real, and it's barely being talked about. Dropsite did an article on it. Midas Touch and Breaking Points talked about it. Nobody else is talking about it. It's insane. It is driving me crazy. I mean, I know our media sucks. I didn't know they sucked that bad. Okay, that they're not going to talk about this, which is like an earth-shattering story. So we'll get into that as well. We also have Haley Stevens is absolutely cooked. Her campaign is a disaster. It's getting worse by the day. It's getting more and more dirty by the day. So people are looking at Abdul and going, oh my God, he looks phenomenal in this moment. So I'm going to dive into that, give you all the updates there. And then also later on, Trump admits in court to criminal persecution, illegal criminal persecution of blue states. You cannot make this stuff up. The stuff they say out loud is stuff that a president in the past would have never dreamed of doing or saying out loud. So you guys know the drill, man. Do me a big favor, subscribe to the channel and click that bell icon. That helps out big time and costs you nothing. You can also support the show on Patreon. That link is below. Remember, y'all, I only ask because this is real independent media. You guys support the show from the ground up, $1 a month, $2 a month, whatever it is. It helps out big time. And remember, y'all, I promise I will never talk to an advertiser. It's not like, oh, I haven't talked to an advertiser, done an ad read to this point. But the future, I might change it. No, I'm not going to do it. And the reason I can say that confidently is because you guys support the show.
Hold up, y'all. 1 second.
From the ground up, and we have the default ads on YouTube, and that's it, right? So thank you for all you've done to keep this show independent. Thank you for everybody who tips on YouTube as well. You can also sign up for Crystal Kyle and Friends on Substack. That link is below. And of course, go sub to Corin's World. We're there every Monday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We are live. Come hang out with us over there. And without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right in. So, new numbers came out, y'all. New numbers came out, and oh my days. Oh my days is MAGA having to pick their jaw up from the ground, because look at this. The size of the MAGA base has dwindled by roughly 33%, according to pollster Rich Barris. So I love this, because how many times have we had Trump come out and say, I have a 98% approval rating with MAGA? Or, the other day, he always brings up the CNN one that Harry Enton did, where he goes, I have a 100% approval rating with MAGA. And it's like, well, yeah, that's sort of like definitionally what it is, because you're pre-screening them to be supporters, and then they say, yeah, I'm a supporter. Like, yeah, you have 100% approval with MAGA. But point is, MAGA is becoming fewer and fewer and fewer people. That's a fact. And now we have empirical data to back that up. All right, how about this one, man? This one is, there's no coming back from one like this. Trump's policies are making you worse off 58%, better off 13%, according to YouGov. 13%. That's one of the lowest polling numbers I've ever seen. That is right up there with, like, when they ask people about Congress and, like, cockroaches have the same approval rating as Congress does, or root canals have the same approval rating as Congress does. 13% in this country say Trump's policies are making them better off. Bro, in order for Republicans to do well, that number would have to be, like, at least, like, 46. It's 13%. 13. Huh. I don't even know what to say. I'm at a loss for words as to how disastrous and catastrophic that is. But it gets worse. Ready? Washington Post says, Republicans see scary lack of enthusiasm among core voters ahead of midterms. In reliably red Iowa, where open governor and Senate races look surprisingly competitive, AFP action door knocking in suburban Des Moines found voters critical of the Iran war and high inflation. Some even say they'll back Democrats this fall. AFP's actions Nathan Nascimento, quote, about 1 in 5 reliable Republican-based voters are at risk in November. They may stay home or vote Democrat across Iowa, Ohio, North Carolina, Montana, New Hampshire, and Michigan. Top concern, inflation and the economy. Quote, this is a big chunk. This is a scary number. Reaching them at the door usually moves them toward GOP candidates, or at least away from Democrats toward undecided. And that 20% doesn't even include low-propensity Trump voters who turn out for him but often skip midterms. Signals Mitchell Brown says Dems as fired up as 2018 when they flipped the House. The GOP is lagging hard. Young men under 40, key to Trump's 2024 win, most at risk over the economy and prices. Okay, but it gets better. Ready? Again, according to the Washington Post, in western Iowa, 3-time Trump voter Lance Solentic of rural Harrison County called the past 3 presidential elections, quote, the worst 3 mistakes I've ever made in my life, saying the president failed to keep his campaign promises. Higher gas prices are costing him an extra $300 to $500 a month to ride his motorcycle, quote, we voted for Trump, and he did the opposite of what he said he was going to do, said the 56-year-old retired insurance agent. He cited unfulfilled pledges on $2 gas, cheaper food, halved energy prices, rebate checks, no new wars, building the wall, and deporting 30 million illegal immigrants. Solentic said he may sit out this year's election or vote Democrat. You're now at the point where high-propensity Republican voters who don't just vote for Trump, they vote for Republicans down ballot. You go and talk to some of those people in Iowa, and they go, yeah, here's the thing, dog. I'm done. If the Republicans are lucky, I'll stay home and keep my ass on the couch. If I'm in a particularly bad mood that day, I'm going to go vote for the Democrats to send them a fucking message. Holy shit. You're having high propensity Republican voters go, I can't do it. I can't do it. He said no new wars, we're in a war. He said cheaper gas has gone up. He said cheaper grocery prices have gone up. They're done. Bro, these people are completely and utterly done. And as you all know, we've covered this on the show. We've documented this from the beginning. Those demographic groups that Trump did better with in 2024, not only are they all gone, they're all gone and then some. It's worse for Republicans than just reverting to the mean. Reverting to the mean would have been bad enough, but it's worse than that. The Hispanic voters are gone and then some. The independent voters are gone and then some. The young voters are gone and then some. Every little area where they thought they picked up, it's over, son. It's over. It's over. This, simply put, this is the worst governing job in modern history that I've ever seen, right? I mean, the fact that they're making the George W. Bush people look competent, I mean, that's insane. I never thought we'd get a government that was packed with bigger terrorists and more incompetent idiots than the fucking Bush regime, but the Trump regime is delivering. They're delivering. Hardcore Republicans now going, I can't do it. I can't do it. Now, let's also not forget, bro, that a lot of the biggest impacts of Trump's decisions here, they've harmed red states the most. Texas is the hardest hit state from the tariffs and the trade war. In Kentucky, big red state, 75,000 farms have been threatened because of Trump's policies. 95% of bourbon has been threatened because of Trump's policies. They are the hardest hit in terms of hospitals closing there. Because of Trump's big bullshit bill, we have up to 742 rural hospitals that might close all across this fucking nation. But Kentucky was the state worst hit by that. Red state getting the brunt of his shitty policy decisions. Okay? In Kansas, U.S. aid cuts devastated crop exports there. In Nebraska, the beef and pork industries lost their workers because of the immigration crackdown. In Iowa, in particular, which is where a lot of these interviews were done, the GDP plunged 6% because of tariffs on aluminum and steel and because of the deportations of meat plant workers that were there. And so you have all these people, they're going, bro, I can't, my life is being impacted negatively. It's being impacted negatively. So I'm done. I'm done here. So truly incredible stuff. But I also wanted to give you this. So they are panicking over on the right. The NRSC, that's the Senate Republicans, they released this ad where they say, we have 100 days to protect President Trump's Senate majority. Socialists are coming for you, your family, safety, and freedom. Failure is not an option. So let's look at what their ad says.
We saw it coming.
2 in 3 Democrats have a favorable view of socialism.
For 250 years, America has stood for freedom against socialism.
Tear down this wall.
Against communism. But now, the enemy isn't just at the gate. They're in the house.
Last night, 9 out of 10 Democratic primaries here in New York City were won by socialists.
Our goal is communism.
Progressives are on the march.
And they're coming for you.
Among the positions that these candidates have advocated for, ending prisons, ending police, no borders.
We don't back down. We take them to the mud and choke them out.
They're coming for your family's future.
I think we need a progressive taxation rate in place.
After you and Biden got here, all the Alaska projects were shut down.
They're coming for your safety.
Governor Trump is shutting down every project.
Administration saying that they'll fast track the early release of 3,500 prisoners.
Smash that like button, y'all. Double tap that screen. And make sure you subscribe to the channel if you like this type of live stream. Here we go.
You don't hear a lot about immigration from voters.
And they're coming for our Constitution.
Does that mean impeachment?
As I've said, I think that his misconduct has already exceeded the standard.
On November 3rd, failure is not an option. Your family, your safety, your freedom, everything is on the line. President Trump and Senate Republicans have the watch.
We will never let the United States become a communist country.
The United States Senate will not fall. We will win. We will hold the line.
Oh, they're so washed. Whine, cry, cope, seethe, bitch, moan. It is over, son. It is over. And notice something. What did they not talk about there? They didn't talk about grocery prices. They didn't talk about gas prices. They didn't talk about wars. Now, did they? And that's the thing. All they're going to do is try to scare you with labels, right? Oh, communism, 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 communism. So they try to scare you with labels, and then they bring up fringe things that nobody ran on. Nobody ran on abolishing prisons. Why would we abolish prisons when we need to throw Trump and Elon Musk and Stephen Miller and Marco Rubio and all these fucking criminals in prison? Sorry, we got to. That's where they're going to go. That's where they're going to fucking go. Okay? But nobody ran on those ideas. Nobody ran on them. So they bring up the things that poll the worst in, like DSA's manual or whatever the fuck they call it, their charter or whatever they call it, right? And then they harp away on those things. Okay, yeah, but like I said, nobody ran on those things. They're on Medicare for all, and free college, and a living wage, and ending the wars, and raising taxes on the rich, and free childcare, and all sorts of very positive, very popular things. You can't talk about that, because if you talk about that, you get obliterated. So what do? Try to scare people with labels and bring up a handful of fringe things that you can use to fearmonger. That's it. That's all you do. And they are panicking. There's no doubt they are panicking. They really think that they nailed it with this Red Scare shit, with this communist shit. Here's the problem, though. Here's the problem. It rings so hollow when it's Republicans currently destroying this country. Not just this country. If we're being honest, the world. They're destroying the world. You can't whine about radicalism as Trump started, 8 new wars? 8 new wars? He's stealing natural resources from Venezuela and putting them in a private bank account that only he controls. You can't whine about radicalism when you've had 0 arrest of Epstein pedophiles. 0 arrest. Seems like you're the radicals. Seems like you're the extremists if you're letting a cabal of Epstein-class pedophiles roam free. Right? It seems like you're the radicals when you're building ICE concentration camps and sending innocent people there. When you send innocent people to be tortured and raped in El Salvador in CCOT. There's not much room to whine about the extremism on the other side when you are the fucking extremists. You are the extremists. So, man, they're losing it. And by the way, more evidence to that effect, look at this. Right Wing Watch says, they post this. House Speaker Mike Johnson says he grows more confident, quote, with each passing day that the GOP will retain control of Congress. Why?
Hold up, y'all. Wait 1 second.
Quote, this is a God thing, he says. We have intercessory prayers who are on the ground at the Capitol praying. Oh, yeah, that ought to do it. Say a couple prayers, and then, people will overlook the high gas prices. People will overlook the high grocery prices. People will overlook the fact that AI is taking their jobs. People will overlook the 8 new wars that you're funding. Get the fuck out of here. Listen.
The American people can trust House Republicans, the Republican Party, to run this government, and we keep delivering. We're going to do that, run all the way through the tape towards the end of the year, to the end of the year, and I believe for this reason we're going to win the midterms. I'm very bullish about the outcome, and we talk about it all the time. With each passing day, I'm more confident, Tony.
You as you repeatedly say, you exceed the expectations of the pundits. They still don't understand the power of prayer.
Is that your ace up the sleeve? We're going to pray, and that's why we're going to win. Oh, are you? Is that how it works?
I've been openly saying this. I told a big gaggle of Hill Press reporters yesterday at an event. I said, listen, this is a God thing. It really is. And we have intercessory prayers who are on the ground at the Capitol praying each of these things through. My colleagues know that. They know I believe that, and we're watching it happen.
Y'all are going to need the prayer. You're going to need the prayer when it's the biggest blue wave we've seen in modern history. You're going to need the prayer when it dwarfs 2018. You're going to need the prayer when it's the left-wing Tea Party wave now. You're going to need that fucking prayer. I'll tell you that much. You're going to need it to feel better about yourself when you get fucking waxed. Because you know what? At the end of the day, literally all you guys stand for is sadism. If I had to wrap it up in one word, it would be sadism. You're Republican sadists. You're MAGA sadists. You actually like the pain, the violence, the destruction, the devastation, the breaking everything, tearing everything down, watching Trump be the most corrupt motherfucker that's ever been in the White House of all time, self-dealing like nobody's business, enriching, screwing over working people. You need the prayer.
Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.
Dozens of you wrote to me about a disgusting video clip of a legacy media journalist laughing it up with Stephen Miller. And maybe this captures why establishment journalism keeps failing. We're going to talk about it. Also, Donald Trump's attempt to seize control of state elections grinds to a halt as a judge says, no, you're not going to do this. And Trump caught defending Vladimir Putin and claiming that he somehow just got into office, and if everything doesn't look quite right.
You said Trump is destroying the country. I disagree with that. He's making this country greater and greater again.
Where are you from?
So, I'm from Nigeria.
Where do you live?
New York City.
You live in New York?
Yeah.
Who's your senator?
Why I don't. My mayor is Madani, and it's 14 minutes past 12.
Who's your senator?
Why are you asking me about my senator?
Who's your senator?
What does that have to do with the topic?
This is what I'm talking about. I mean, these
This is the
people come
problem
up
with the
here,
Democrats.
and you
are
don't even
trying
know
to
how this
deviate
works.
Because you know I'm
You
about
don't
to
even know how
dismantle your lies
government works.
against President Trump.
You don't even know who your senator is. He's a fucking majority leader, and you don't even know who your senator
Doesn't matter.
is.
I know Trump. I know Trump, and I know Mandani.
Who's your congressman?
Does it matter?
Who's your state rep?
Does it matter?
Who's your city councilman?
Bro, Trump is in charge of everything, bro.
This is
Trump
what I'm
is the leader
talking
of
about.
everything, man.
It's like you want to get up here, right, and have a debate about politics and government, and you don't even know who your representatives are. Like, at some point, like I'm gonna have to start doing like a baseline test before letting you guys up, because you guys you want to argue about things you don't even understand.
Are we here to discuss about New York City, or we are here to talk about Trump achievements? Because I'm here
Brother,
to
hey,
dismantle your
last
lies.
question. Last question. Who's your governor? You even know that?
Bro. we are here to talk about Trump. You said Trump is destroying the country. I disagree with
I seen your clips. I wanted to debate you because I knew I could win. Listen, Isaiah, you propaganda pushing down on these poor people. I'm so truly sorry for you. I am truly, and I bless your heart.
You feel sorry for me?
Unfact. I do.
You feel
really
sorry
do.
for me?
Yes, I do.
She ain't got no teeth.
Where do you live?
Tennessee. I like
Live
Tennessee.
in Tennessee?
Why? What's the problem? What's the matter with that? Tennessee, great country. Yeah.
I don't have anything against Tennessee. You know why why this is funny to me?
Why?
Because you literally are sitting on here to cheerlead a man that has done nothing but kick sand in your face. You've got more expensive on your healthcare premiums. Your gas prices are way more expensive. Your grocery bills are more expensive. Your healthcare premiums are more expensive. You've got 26% increase in your healthcare premiums. You've got 13% increase in your energy bills. Your gas prices are up way more than what it was when Biden left office. You've got all that stuff. And if you live in Tennessee and you know any farmers, they're getting fucked harder than any other point in American history, because this dingus in the White House wouldn't put tariffs on everything that everybody buys in this country. And that's the reality. And here you are getting absolutely, completely fucked by this president. And your only answer is, yes, sir, go harder, sir. That's absolutely absurd. So you have this look on my face because it's sad. Because the facts don't care about your feelings, and yet you're ignoring all the facts, and you're saying, yes, sir, Mr. Donnie T, screw me harder, sir. And I think it's absolutely pathetic.
Squirted right in my mouth.
If I'm just being honest with you. That's why I react the way I do.
Okay, Isaiah, if I were to say that, I would have said it already. I'm not saying that right, Isaiah. I ain't, I don't play like that. What if
Hey, more to holler at you, man.
That's what's happened.
What if I said, okay, if I were liberal, I would be like, oh yes, Biden, keep going,
No.
Biden, keep ramming them gas prices higher into me more than you
They're
can.
higher than what it was when Biden left office. You don't know what you're talking about.
Nope.
Like, did this bitch sound educated? No, not at all.
This is what I'm talking about. Your health care is up.
Source.
Everything is up. EIA.gov. That's my source. What's yours?
Knowledge.
That's what I thought. None. Zero. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
All feelings. All this is feelings and wearing the knee pads for Donald Trump. That's it.
Nope.
You've got nothing.
All right.
Then what's your
If
source?
I
I
am
gave
wrong-
you my source. What's yours?
Knowledge.
See, all y'all motherfuckers is uneducated and we'll get on this bitch and try to talk about how smart your dumb ass is.
That's what I'm talking
Common
about.
sense.
That's what
Okay,
I'm talking
Marty.
about.
Let's debate about.
No. What Common Sense America says is that if you go and you look at yourself and you're getting fucked by a president that literally has done nothing but enrich himself by $3.3 billion, and all you've gotten in return is 13% up on your energy bills, 26% up on your healthcare premiums, an environment where everything is more expensive where you live. I think that's absolutely pathetic.
I seen your clips.
My opinion is Marco Rubio is going to win. I can't wait for a Cuban American, somebody that's not white, to run our country that's a Republican.
Well, I think that's pretty an outrageous thing to say. I don't support Marco Rubio because, first off, he supports all of the brainless policies that Donald Trump has pushed, particularly the tariffs that have bankrupted American businesses, raised our prices, increased inflation. He's been a cheerleader behind this war in Iran, which was executed with no immediate threat to the United States, as said by Tulsi Gabbard, Joe Kent, and Richard Blumenthal, a Democrat, a Republican, and an independent. So those three things immediately disqualify Marco Rubio, and on my eyes, because if he ignores economists to destroy the economy, and he ignores national intelligence to go and enter into a war that raises our prices and is not in the best interest of American national security, that means that he's absolutely compromised and should not be in the highest position of power. Maybe somebody gets excited by his race, but I don't really think that race has anything to do with who should be leading the president of the United States when it comes to this.
Now race doesn't matter. Okay, now it doesn't matter. It's
It
crazy
doesn't.
it's crazy how that works. We'll find out in the end when it's all said and done. Based on your stance, when you find out you lose again, then at some point you go, maybe it's me, it's not them.
Well, do you have a rebuttal to anything that I said?
The rebuttal is the result.
You basically came onto the live to say I support Marco Rubio because of his race, and I'm like, well, I think that personally, policy
that's
matters.
not what I said. That's
Like,
not what I said.
that is
That's
what
not
you
what
said.
I said. I didn't say it's because of.
motherfucker. You said you can't wait till somebody else of a different race that's Republican runs our country.
Race.
You did. You said that.
Mischaracterization.
You said that.
No,
I
I just
think
said-
that it would be great for a non-white Cuban to
But
become
that's
the
not
president.
the only reason. That's not the only
So
reason.
then, what's the other reason?
The one that has common sense and leads people and brings people together.
It's common sense to ignore your national
he's
intelligence
a fiscal,
to go
he's a
to
fiscal
war.
Republican.
Wait. So it's common sense to ignore your intelligence to go to war and spend billions of dollars a day on a conflict that a Republican, an independent, and an independent
You're
said
framing,
was
you're framing it
unjustified?
the way you want to frame it.
What do you mean?
You're framing it incorrectly.
So did his own director of national intelligence testify that that was not true?
You're not in control of the
He
government.
can't
now.
engage. He cannot engage with the argument. No.
You tell me why President Trump is president.
You want me? You
Tell
want an
me
answer?
why.
You want an answer?
Yeah. So
Because,
that's
look,
I'm playing the same
look,
game you're
because
playing.
because it's not working out
Playing
for you,
the
buddy.
same damn game you're playing.
It's not.
Except
Look
I'm
at
winning
look.
because
Why
we
are
have
you?
a president.
This guy is chimping out. I mean, it makes
No.
sense.
This guy is, dude. It's crazy how y'all keep saying the same shit.
You said, why is it that Donald Trump is the president? Because people bought the bullshit. They bought that he was going to lower their gas prices. They new wars, and he left. He left like a dog. They're just snowflakes, bro. All these Trumpers are just snowflakes.
My opinion is Marco Rubio is going to win. I can't wait for a Cuban American, somebody that's not white, to run our country that's a Republican.
Well, I think that's pretty an outrageous thing to say. I don't support Marco.
You know something, Brian. You are a member.
Okay, no, pot him down again. Pot him down, the MAGA moron member. Pot him down again. So you failed on your first example.
How about some of the woke mind viruses that your whole entire Democratic Party is infected with?
The woke mind viruses. First of all, I'm not a Democrat. I'm a registered independent who didn't vote for Barack Obama and did.
See, that's the sad part about you motherfucking Republicans. Y'all motherfuckers think that anybody who is against Trump or don't agree with Trump is a Democrat. No, we're independents and we rock the motherfucking vote. Because wherever the independents going, that's who winning.
Vote for Hillary Clinton. Number two, If woke means being awake and being understanding of my surroundings, like dumbasses like you who I stay away from, then you can call me woke. You're the moron who called into this show who said you didn't think Donald Trump said anything wrong in his statement. Then you contradicted yourself after I gave you facts. You're so stupid you didn't even know that this guy was not a migrant, that he was born in this country, and then you swear at me and call me the F word. So I think if anybody has the disease, it's you. You are very uneducated, ill-informed, you have crap for brains, and you don't even know how to spell the word fact. So you want me to listen when all you say is I have a virus. So go ahead and give me a woke policy that you think I support. Go ahead. Give me a woke ideology. Go ahead. Give me something. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm trying to.
Then do
Brian.
it. Then do it.
How about the political correctness or social constructivism?
Okay, hold on. Let's go one at a time. Political correctness. Give me a specific example of something that I've said on this show today that you think is woke. Now, don't give me something general. Be specific with exactly something that I said that you think is woke. Surely you could come up with one example. Go ahead, Frank.
That Donald Trump is a moron.
Okay, so you think it's an ideology and it's wokeness to call somebody a moron. Sir, how many Republicans, by your standards, have called Joe Biden a moron? How many Republicans, by your standards, have called Joe Biden and Democrats names? So I guess you're saying both parties are woke. Is that what you're saying? Are you claiming that?
No, that's not.
Oh, okay. So if I call Donald Trump a moron, I have a woke virus. But if you call Joe Biden a name, or say he's in the bunker, or say he's feeble, or say he has Alzheimer's, if you call a Democrat a name, that doesn't make you woke and you don't have a virus. But if I call a liable sexual abuser and a 34-count felon, quote, a moron, somehow that makes me into some sort of woke person. Sir, do you realize how stupid you sound?
You know something, Brian. You are a member.
Okay, no, pot him down again. Pot him down, the MAGA moron member. Pot him down again. So you failed on your first example. You said I'm woke and I have a virus because I called Donald Trump a name. By the way, Donald Trump calls people names every day. So you're the moron, okay? So go ahead and try to give me another example, because your first example, sir, was very, very poor. But I'm in a very good mood today because I love talking to people like you, because I expose how stupid people like you are. Give me another example. You said I'm woke. Give me a policy. Let's start with
Brian.
No, don't Brian me, MAGA Frank. Don't Brian me. Give me a policy that I am in favor of that you think is a woke ideology. Go.
I did not say that you were woke.
You just said me and my people. So now here's what we've learned in this conversation. You've backtracked your statement where you said that Trump didn't say anything wrong in his tweet. You've admitted that he was wrong. I educated you that this guy in New Orleans is not someone who crossed the border illegally. You also just said I have a woke ideology. You called me woke. And now you've backtracked that statement. Is there anything else you'd like to say and then backtrack in this phone call?
You're probably one of the smartest people I've ever ran across in my life.
Thank you. Let's end the conversation there. It was very fun to destroy you, Frank, and your stupid comments that you made. But we finally agree on something. You're right, Frank. Maybe I'm not that smart, but I can guarantee you one thing. I'm definitely smarter than you, and we proved that in this conversation. Have a nice day, you woke moron. Did J.D. Vance ever touch you inappropriately since you are a couch?
Sir, I don't know why you would harass a victim like that.
I'm sorry. No, I have sympathy for you.
What is happening here?
Sir,
so now I'm black and I'm a...
Now you're black.
Why do you hate me so much?
He smoked.
Now I'm black and I'm a...
Now you're black.
Why do you hate me so much? Yesterday you said Trump was a liable sexual abuser.
Oh, I didn't say that. That's what a jury said, sir.
All right, and a jury also committed the Central Park 5, correct?
Yep, that's actually
Okay.
those are actually so you're saying because one case got it wrong, they certainly must have gotten the case wrong. Well, that's a great argument, sir.
There's a man by the name of Eddie Elmore Lee.
Listen, sir, I agree with you. Couch, I agree with you. I think that's a really important take, and I want to repeat it to all my listeners, and I don't think I'm mischaracterizing your take. So because in some instances the jury might have gotten cases wrong, that must mean that every case is not valid. Couch, I think that's a very intelligent take on your part. So let's just throw away the justice system altogether because a few cases were wrong. By the way, I think the O.J. Simpson verdict was wrong too. So because the O.J. Simpson, right? Okay, so we agree on that, and I'm being a little sarcastic, of course, but because I think what you're saying is absurd. So because O.J. Simpson case, we believe they got it wrong. That must mean every case in this country is wrong. Couch, are you being serious with that take? Because it's probably the most idiotic case I've ever heard.
No, hold on. I just want to point out that there's a chance they got it wrong.
Okay,
right?
so if your argument is there's a chance they might have got it wrong, or if your argument is I don't agree with their decision, okay, fine. I'll have a reasonable conversation with you. But here's my problem, Couch, okay? Hear me out on this. It's not just about one individual situation. It's the way Donald Trump has treated women his entire life. Examples. His own ex-wife in court documents claimed that he raped her. 25 women have come forward and claimed that they were sexually abused or raped. So if you're going to claim that you don't believe E. Jean Carroll and you don't believe the jury made the right decision, okay, no problem. But we're not talking about one case. We're talking about the history of Donald Trump. It was Jeffrey Epstein caught on audio saying that Donald Trump was his best friend. These are the people that Donald Trump associated himself with, and these are the relationships he's had with women, bragging about sexual assault. So, Couch, it's not just about one case that you might disagree with. It's okay to disagree on an outcome, but here's the difference between you and me. I still am willing to admit that O.J. Simpson was not convicted of murder. Donald Trump was found liable for
He was not convicted.
Was Donald Trump, did I say he was convicted for sexual? Did I say that?
You said O.J. was convicted.
What are you talking about? I just said O.J. was not convicted. You have to listen to me.
Or not convicted, or which would mean
you're mixed up, sir.
Liable?
Couch. O.J. Simpson was found liable. Are you not aware of that? O.J. was found liable for double murder. Are you not aware of that, sir? Let me ask it again because I think Cat got your tongue. Are you not aware that O.J. Simpson was found liable for double murder?
100%.
Okay. Was Donald
What did you just say?
What was Donald Trump found liable for sexual abuse? Yes or no?
He was not convicted of it.
That wasn't the question. The question wasn't what was he convicted of. I'm going to ask it now. I'm going to ask it now for a fifth. Sir, I need you to answer my question directly because we have a guest waiting who's probably
motherfuckers, boy. Y'all some stupid motherfuckers. And I'm glad you're here listening to it in the third person. You dumb motherfucker.
Far better looking than you, so it's more important. With all due respect, was Donald Trump found liable for sexual abuse? Yes or no? Please answer the question.
Wrongfully, yes.
Was Donald Trump found liable for sexual abuse? Yes or no?
Wrongfully, yes.
Wrong. I didn't ask you what your opinion was on it. You can't even answer the question, can you?
I did.
No, I didn't ask you what your. I didn't ask you what your.
But you know that.
I didn't ask you what your opinion was. I don't care what your opinion is on the case. It's a yes or no. Let's see if you're capable. I'm now asking it for the 10th time. Was Donald Trump found liable for sexual abuse? I don't care whether you think it was wrongfully or not. Is he a liable sexual abuser? Yes or no?
Wrongfully, yes.
Okay. You can't even answer the question because you're a doofus. Oh, my God. So let's review before we take a break. Couch, is that even a name? Couch? Is that even a name? Is that even his name? Sir, if your name is Couch, has J.D. Vance ever sexually abused you, sir, since you're a Couch?
Yes. And I would like you
not wow. J.D., he just said yes. Was he naked when he sexually abused you?
Sir, I would like you not to talk about that on the air, please.
Oh, wow. I think J.D. Vance might have actually done something to this guy. Did J.D. Vance ever touch you? Did J.D. Vance ever touch you inappropriately since you are a Couch?
Sir, I don't know why you would harass a victim like that.
I'm sorry. No, I have sympathy for you.
What is happening here?
Sir,
so now I'm black and I'm a...
Now you're black?
Why do you hate me so much?
Why did you bring black into the equation?
What's the problem with me being black?
When did I bring up? When did I bring up you being black? Or are you just trying to be funny? It's not easy to be funny, is it? Sir?
Say you're black?
No, I didn't say that. Get the MAGA wax out of your ears.
Question it?
Get the MAGA wax out of your ears. If J.D. Vance did sexually assault you, sir, I don't think that's funny at all. The reason why I brought it up, and I don't think you're smart enough to understand it, is because the rumors that were circulating, because I know you MAGA people love rumors, is that J.D. Vance sexually abuses couches. Your name is Couch. That's why I brought it up. And you said yes. So I'm sorry if J.D. Vance did something inappropriate to you, sir. My condolences.
I appreciate your apology.
Thank you. Have a nice day. You're wasting my airtime, Couch.
And honestly, with all due respect, as I think you're making yourself look like a fool, going around thinking that she's not a woman when she is. And as a matter of fact,
Al, I have a serious question. I have a serious question for you, Al. I have a serious question. Are you a woman?
Hey, listen, didn't I hear you a couple of days ago or yesterday?
This is a Latino for Trump, y'all. Listen.
You say that you thought Nancy Mace might be a man. Something about there was a question when they were interrogating people as how to define a woman. Didn't I hear you say something like that?
Yep, and I'll tell you exactly why I said it. Nancy Mace wants only biological women in women's restrooms. How do we police something like that? I don't know if Nancy Mace is a woman. I really don't. I haven't. Okay,
well,
hold on. Let me just answer. Hold on. Let me just finish my answer, and then I promise you I will let you respond now, okay?
Okay, go ahead.
I don't know for sure. I'm being serious now. I don't know for sure if Nancy Mace is a woman. She probably is. I don't know her family history. I certainly haven't seen her without clothes on. I don't know. And by the way, I really don't care. But Nancy Mace seems to care so much about biologically who you are when you go into the women's restroom. So let's give her that same sort of attention. Let's find out if Nancy Mace is a woman. If that's what she wants to do, and it sounds to me that she wants to make sure that absolutely no transgenders should get into the women's restroom, let's see how women like it if there's somebody that checks them and checks their genitals every single time they walk into the women's restroom or the men's restroom for that matter. So yeah, I don't know if Nancy Mace is a woman or not. She certainly could be a man. I don't know. I know she's crazy. I know she likes attention. I know she's a liar. You can shake her hand and she'll wear an arm sling the next day. She's the kind of person that you literally get into a fender bender at the light and there's barely a dent in your car and she goes into the ICU. That's who Nancy Mace is. She's bad for the country. She's an embarrassment. And no, I have no idea. Neither do you. I don't know if she's a man or a woman. There you go. There's my answer.
Okay, well, I think that you being a person, I think you're being Now, let me finish. I let you finish.
I didn't say a word.
I think you're being hypocritical because you say that you don't support conspiracy theories.
I don't.
And I would think that's a conspiracy theory.
So
when, in case, I just looked it up,
Al,
she has 2 biological kids.
Al, let me explain to you the difference between, and by the way, you also don't understand levity, but let me explain to you the difference between a conspiracy theory and saying, I don't know. Donald Trump said the 2020 election was stolen. Donald Trump said, I question the election. We need to investigate it, and let's get some questions answered, and I'll see you in court. That's not a conspiracy. Donald Trump said the election was stolen. Joe Biden cheated. Look up 2,000 Mules. That is a conspiracy theory. Do you understand the difference between a conspiracy theory and someone saying she could be a man?
Aloha Kitty, what up?
And I don't know. Here's the reason why I said that, Al, and I think you're struggling to understand. She is going after a group of people.
What up?
She is shaming a group of people. So you're damn right that I am intentionally shaming her. I give it back to them. She's shaming a group of people. I am shaming her. Do I really believe that Nancy Mace is a man? No, she's probably a woman. I can sit here and tell you with a straight face, I don't know for sure. I don't know. Okay? If you're claiming if you're claiming she has kids, that very well might be true. The point I was trying to make, which sadly you're missing, is that she is an imbecile. And she makes ridiculous statements, so I think she deserves people to make some ridiculous statements about her. Why do you not understand that?
I just think it's very obvious that it's hypocritical. And honestly, with all due respect, as I think you're making yourself look like a fool, going around thinking that she's not a woman when she is. And as a matter of fact,
Al, I have a
tell you
serious
something else.
question. I have a serious
Can I
question for you,
say
Al.
something else?
I have a serious question. Are you a woman?
I'm a man. I'm a biologically born man, and
Okay,
I
well,
believe a woman
I would
is
question
somebody
that.
who was born
Al,
as a biological
okay,
woman.
that's fair. So,
Okay?
Al, if there's a men's room, I don't want you going in the men's room. I don't believe you. I think you're a woman.
Okay, well, I think you're an idiot. I'm
Okay,
sorry
well,
to tell
thank
you
you.
for saying that.
Al, Al, you should try using a penis. It's very convenient when you have to go to the bathroom. It's convenient, but
I should try using
Yeah.
it.
Al, I don't want you. Al, I don't.
You know
Hold on,
what?
Al. I don't
You
want
know
you.
what?
I don't want you in the men's restroom, Al. I think you're a woman. I think you should drop trow and prove to everybody, including Nancy Mace, that you're a man. Al, I think you're a woman. What do you think about that, Al?
You're an idiot.
Thank you, Al. I might be an idiot, but I still think you're a woman. What do you think about that?
Yeah, okay, well, it just goes to show
Al, are
how
you a
smart
woman?
your
Be
show
honest.
is.
Al, be honest. Do you have testicles? Be honest. Did they drop yet? It's a serious question.
I have
It's a serious
Dude,
question. It's a serious
I'm a man, just like I was born a man. I've always been a man, and I'm very proud to be a man.
Okay, well,
and you know what?
well, I would
think
question
Nancy
that.
Mace is a woman.
The question has been raised, why won't we leave you alone? Why won't we leave black people alone? And I know I have white people on this page, and I would love to know what you think about why we as white people cannot release black people and just let them live and leave them alone. We are jealous. We are narcissistic. We are envious. We are gluttonous. We want it all for ourselves. It's sort of the 7 deadly sins, although I'm not religious at all. It's all those things that make you do and think
That don't make no sense.
that you're better. I mean, you can clearly see the no-toothed, fat, which is fine. Fat's fine, but overweight, unable to mobilize themselves. You know, skin's sinking. They're old, lots of wrinkles. Wear hat. You know, oh, I'm a MAGA. They look at black people and they know they're not as good. They know that they're poor white trash. They know that they won't be as pretty, that they won't be as smart, that they'll never get to where black people are getting. And then the black people come through their neighborhoods and they're just so fucking mad because you don't belong here and you shouldn't be that smart and you shouldn't look that good and you shouldn't have children like that are brilliant. There's this little boy who does multi-numeral multiplications. He's like 2. He can barely talk. He's brilliant. These beautiful children. There's a little boy that rides with his daddy, and he goes, "Daddy, wee!" And his father is so gentle
Crazy
and
work,
so sweet. He's got it set up on the bike that the little boy can. He's got a little pillow thing where he can set it up so the little boy can just lean forward and sleep. He's so cute. He says, "I need daddy nap time," and he puts him on there and they pedal. Takes him to the grocery store. They talk about cars. He says, "Daddy, a Honda." This kid is just tiny. He knows car names. He talks about birds and different kinds of birds. And every time he goes, "Daddy, Daddy, wee! Daddy, Robin, Daddy, Honda, Daddy, Puddle." I mean, he's so delightful. How could you not love that baby? How could you want to hurt him? The question has been raised, why won't we leave you alone? Why won't we leave black people alone? And I know I have white people on this page.
Who else agrees that if people can get arrested for lying to Congress, that Congress should get arrested for lying to the American people?
Hell yeah.
Anybody else?
I have more should I say values? I have more values aligned with conservative.
I don't think that's very true because I don't think that's very true because if you were here in America, they'd try to deport you. So I don't think that they like you very much.
If I was illegal, to be honest, yeah.
They don't like
illegal.
I think
you should deport me.
They don't like legals either.
That's true.
And can you give me an example of
Yeah.
an illegal migrant who was deported?
No.
Didn't come into-
Yeah, absolutely. People that were here
Okay.
on TPS. temporary protective status. Trump went and revoked their TPS. He also went and revoked visa protections for those that came from no reason, nothing.
Yeah.
These were not people that
Okay.
these were not people on expired visas. These were not people who committed a crime. He revoked their status. He also revoked the status for Venezuelans. He also revoked the status for Colombians. He also revoked the status for Cubans as well, many of which had relatives that voted for him. So he literally revoked their status. He also is working with people like Governor Greg Abbott to revoke H-1B visas for people that are in America to study, particularly med students that are here in the United States to go and do work. These are literal people that they are trying to take out of the country who came and did everything legally.
What is meaning of TPS actually? I think you're talking about Somalians, right? From Minnesota, right?
It doesn't have to be
Relax,
Somalians.
relax.
It can be Haitians. It
No,
can
you're
be
talking
anything.
about-
No, I'm not talking about anything.
I think you actually. I think it was. If I'm not mistaken, I may be wrong, but I'm very open to corrections. I think, from what I understood from the TPS, I think it was more specifically and more directed towards Somalians in Minnesota.
No, you didn't listen to a single word I said. TP because you don't live in America. You don't really know how this works.
Yeah,
TPS is not just Somalians in Minnesota. And by the way, most of the Somalians in Minnesota are literal American citizens that live in that live in Minnesota. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about people with TPS. And if you would have listened to what I said, I also talked about status revoked from Colombians, Venezuelans, and Cubans, and many others. Those people. So you don't know what you're talking about. So my point still stands that if you were in the United States, yes, they would deport you. They would round you up, send you up on an airplane, and send you the hell out of this country. And here you are barking like a seal to celebrate them, and they don't even like you.
No, I don't really care if you like me or not. It has to be about law and order. It has to be law. Listen,
No, isn't that something?
there's no emotion. No emotions. Like listen. If you're gonna lead a nation, if you're gonna lead a business, if you're gonna lead something, you have to put emotions aside.
No, isn't that
You have to
something?
put emotions aside.
Isn't that something? This guy comes on here and says that he doesn't care if they like him or not. Now imagine this, right? He's not from here, so he is right now he is standing and he's watching his Instagram story of a club, and he's commentating it when the people in the club rejected him from coming in. He wants to be in the people that reject him's club. That's crazy shit. That is a lust for acceptance. That honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's pretty pathetic. That's pretty pathetic.
Okay. No, it's fine. That's your opinion. I actually think you probably have a victim syndrome. It's like a victim mentality of they don't like me. I feel a bit hated here. I feel rejected. Why do you let people?
I would think that is human nature that I would not want to go and be in a place where the people say that you're not welcome.
That's a problem. Listen, the problem.
Why do you want so badly to be included by people who don't want you?
No, I don't know. I don't want to be included. Listen, you don't get the point. I'm not trying to walk my way into your heart or trying to walk my way into a relationship. I don't really care. What I care about is that when I come into a country,
you can't get in.
Of that country. I have to rest. No, listen. Wait a second. I got in anyways. Like I got into Europe, so relax.
You can't get in here.
So when I get into a country, I have to abide with the law of the
You
country.
cannot get in.
And you have to leave and drop the victim mentality of
You
they don't want me,
cannot
so you get
get
emotional
in.
about it.
I don't understand why you are coming up with this fantasy like you could get in. You can't.
Oh my god!
So it's you're talking about you are talking I just want to you can't get in here. All right, what you're doing right now is literally simping for a situation that one, you can't get into, two, you're not accepted, and number three, you're not even here. Like it'd be one thing if you were an American or a visitor or something. Like you're none of those things. You're simping from outside the club, right? Like
I'm not simping.
This is, you know what this is like? Has anybody ever seen Clavicular? Clav? This is like one of those skits that Clav does where it's like, it's somebody who like, he like allegedly steals someone's girl and like, he's like flirting with her in front of the man. Like that's literally what this is. Like, you literally are in a situation where Clav, and I guess maybe in my case, I am clapping girl in the club, and you're in a whole nother ocean talking shit about it on social media. Like that's what this is. Like that's terrible.
I don't think you're listening. I think you've had your opinion, you've drawn your conclusion, but you're not trying to listen. What I'm trying to say is that leave the victim mentality, leave it alone, leave it behind. You should be looked on based on your qualifications. There are a lot of Africans who contribute positively in terms of financial capacity to the United States, and trust me, the United States, I don't want to deport them because they contribute heavily.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes, go on.
Do you think that the Republican Party is looking at the qualifications of people whenever they make those determinations on who should be in the country or not?
I think it's a very it's very you can't generalize all Republicans.
No, I'm not asking you that. I'm asking you if the Republican Party, as the governing party of the United States, whether or not they are looking at qualifications whenever they're making these immigration decisions.
I think from who I support, like Donald Trump, I support Trump. I support people like Charlie Kirk.
That's not what I asked you. It's a very simple question. It's a yes or no question.
I'm coming somewhere. I just
want to hear an answer.
I'm getting somewhere. I support people like Charlie Kirk, who is also a Republican, by the way, who literally said you should be judged based on your qualifications and not how you look or what you have to, or you should be based on your, you should be judged based on your qualifications.
You one more time.
Yes.
Do you know you have good sense and you don't want to answer my question?
No, I'm listening.
I said, can you please tell me if the Republican Party in its official capacity as a governing party of the United States looks at qualifications when they are making these immigration decisions? That's what I asked you.
I believe they are looking at net contributions to the society. The reason why Minnesotans listen.
Wait a second. No.
You actually, just give me a second. Wait. You asked me a question. You should let me like. I'm trying to have a response, a very respectful convo with you. You have your opinion, I have mine, and we can agree to disagree. Okay. I think the reason why Trump is, I want to take a very specific example.
No. I just want to make sure here because you're going all over the place, and I don't really want to waste time with this. You said in a response to my question about does the Republican Party look at qualifications when they're making these immigration decisions, and you said that they look at it as a whole. So are you saying that wait a second. So are you saying that your own personal merit, the work that you do as an individual, does not matter because instead you should be judged as a whole? Are you saying that individual contributions of an individual does not really matter?
Actually, individual contributions actually it actually weighs far more than you generalizing. So that's what I'm saying. Your net contribution as an individual should be the judgment standard.
Well, that was a question that I asked you though.
Yeah, exactly. So not you generalizing all Somalians or Cubans or all Mexicans or all no, that's wrong. Definitely wrong.
Absolutely.
Definitely wrong.
Because you know why? Because you believe in a meritocracy, right? Where merit is what matters. You use merit. And that is what you should be judged by in this country.
I use positive contribution instead of
right.
merit.
Of the individual.
Merit is
correct.
Yes, of course.
Then explain to me why the Republican Party did not look at the merit of individuals. Instead, they went and struck status for all of the people on TPS. They went and struck the status for all Cubans. They did not look at the individuals. They did not care if you were a doctor or a lawyer. They did not care if you were somebody that actually was not a criminal. They didn't care about any of that stuff. They went was not a criminal. They didn't care about any of that stuff. They went and blanket struck their status. And if that is not a perfect example of the very thing that you claim to be against, I don't know what.
Yeah, Cindy Prim, I'm about to eat supper, so I'm gonna be back in a little bit, y'all. Y'all know what it is, man. Subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, and definitely share this video out to like-minded individuals. We almost monetized. It's been